All right, guys, it's about time. I know we're late, but we're always tactfully late. That's how we do it here on the SpaceBro Show. Another episode airing right now. And thank you all for joining us. We're getting ready to get started on this big party scene where we got a lot of goodies to talk about this week on the development of our favorite game of Star Citizen. Tonight, joining me, we're going to be having a couple super special guests with us. We're going to be having, as soon as the scene switches to it, maybe, Mr. GioGetMoney's in the house with us there with his transparent green hat. Even though he can't hear us, it's great. And then we also got the TheNoobifiers in the house. There he is. All right. And, of course, my permanent co-host, Mr. Toy Grubbin. Awesome sauce, guys. So we're going to get this thing started right about now. So let's go ahead and this thing responds. Go, click! I know we like looking at Toy, but we can switch it anytime now. There we go. Jesus Christ. You broke my camera button, Toy. It was stuck on you.
Left it on me.
It wanted to be on you forever. It's like, he's the star. What's up, guys? How's everybody doing tonight?
I'm on fire.
You're on fire? It looks like in the background. You get the flaming nebula behind you. So, speaking of on fire, man, Spectrum's on fire. Everybody's really hyped. We're waiting down to the minute, I guess, for this beautiful 3.0 announcement schedule. Some of us more than others, you know. But
would it be funny if it just said soon TM?
Yeah, it's like
Easter.
Well,
Easter, we got to go.
And when I was playing the other night with Saurus, we were playing some PUBG, and we talked about that. Saurus said, "Wouldn't it be a great troll if they just said, oh yeah, happy holidays, you know, we'll talk to you on Tuesday," and they just like fucked off for the whole weekend and all that stuff. So I mean. Yeah. I think they've set themselves up for that disaster now. But we'll get into all that. Let's talk about what everybody's been doing, what's going on and stuff. So we'll start out with the TheNoobifier. What have you been up to, man? What's been going on video-wise? Everything else?
So I've been working on TrackIR. Hello, everyone. If you don't know who I am, I'm the TheNoobifier. I'm a redacted YouTuber, not podcaster. Sometimes.
He's podcaster sometimes, when we can get him.
Yeah, right. So sometimes on redacted podcast. Anyways, TrackIR came out with 2.6.2, and I was very lucky to get a hold of Mike, who owns it, and he shipped me a new one and did 3 videos on it. It was super fun. It's good stuff. If you have a mouse, don't bother. I think I may have forgot to mention that in the video, because there's some people that are complaining like how I'm supposed to work, you know, so I'm like, whatever. Anyways, sorry for you guys if you just sell it on Kijiji or Amazon or eBay. Aside from that, super pumped about the 3.0 schedule report, but also kind of not pumped about it because I'm expecting it to be that it's news that we already know that it's coming soon. But aside from that, thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
One last plug.
Go ahead.
Tomorrow, LTI Carrick giveaway.
Ooh,
you're not in on that.
Nice.
What's wrong with you people?
I know. I need to get on that.
I mean, you're probably going to have like 1 in 5,000 chance of winning, but that's better than not entering.
Yeah, 1 in 5,000 is pretty good, to be honest, for that kind of amount of money.
Yeah,
I've entered bigger raffles for much less.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Hanger flare.
That's for sure. For sure. And then we also have Mr. GioGetMoney in the house here. Gio, how you been, brother? How you been doing?
I've been freaking awesome. Been hitting the gym and playing some Players Unknown Battleground. Like
oh yeah, baby. That shit's good.
Like maybe 60 hours in that game now, I think. Or close to it. Like, it's ridiculous how many hours I put into that game. Better than a lot of AAA games that came out. I've been streaming that. Yeah. And I've been off the Elite Dangerous fanboys for playing for functionality DLC. So that's always fun too. So that's pretty much been
salt.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all.
The salt is real on that one. Yeah, you've been catching a little bit about that, it seems like. So I love it. Yeah. Well, you know, it's all views, I guess. That's the way it works. You know, all that good stuff.
They get mad, I get paid, even exchange.
There you go. There you go. Make sure you're following both these guys. Also, you know, kick a little follows. We did a little SpaceBro Raider this week. Why Toy was actually streaming. He was streaming a computer build for one of our other guys that he was doing. So it was pretty cool. So Toy, tell us a little bit about that and what else you've been up to.
Yeah, one of my long time friends, he needed a new computer built. So I told him I'd stream it for him while I did it. It's something I do on the side and stuff. along with playing Conan. So
Conan, what's that about? You have to tell us about this amazing game sometime. We'll do a whole special on it.
Oh, they got dong sliders too? Oh.
Yep.
So
Real dong physics.
Yeah.
Keeping the good name of Overwatch, and SpaceBros going in Conan. So.
Absolutely. We've been stealing you for some PUBG matches when we can too. You've been in there.
Yep.
So we've been streaming some of that.
Squad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played Squad. I don't want to get started.
Yeah,
I think it was a
Squad till
bad
rage
server.
quit.
It was a very bad server.
Yeah, the community got a little filled up with a bit of hatred, and they kind of made it bad. When I first got in the Squad, everyone was helpful, wasn't trollish.
Yeah.
If you fuck one time now, get the fuck out, you suck, and no one.
There's a lot of elitism. I can already tell there. I've been in a couple of our servers off the air, and it was just basically like, you better buck up. So I'm like, whoa, I'm not signing up for the Marines here. This stuff. They get a little bit.
Well, that server we played on that night, Gio, it was, we were getting team killed over and over, and then they had the other team set up at the gate. So as soon as you walked outside the gate, the other team was mowing you down. Yeah. So you either getting hit by your own team or the other team. You couldn't even go anywhere. So I had enough of that.
And to be fair, we're pretty fresh meat when it comes to that game. We played the game like 2 or 3 times. So it's like it's a fun game though. I encourage people to try out Squad. The only complaint I have about it is the fact the servers are so fucking expensive to try to rent for it. They would literally want for an 80-man server almost $100 to rent a server per month for that thing. It's ridiculous. So when that comes down to reality, we'll get our own server for it and we'll manage it ourselves. But yeah, definitely. All right, so on to the goodness. Let's talk a little bit about SC and what we've seen this week and what's been going on. To start out with, we're jumping right to the ATV. I mean, we had some stuff beginning of the week, but a lot of it's frills and nils and kind of there. Bug Smashers was decent. Mark always does a great job on that. I encourage you guys to watch it. But this not being a board gamer video, we're not going to try to span a 7-minute video into like a 30-minute episode. So we're going to move on from that. Love you, board. And
the real thing.
Yeah, the
real thing.
Yeah, there you go.
So I'll put some board eggs in there.
There you go. Put your eggs in. Everybody loves board.
Love for board gamer.
Always.
Always. Stand that guy.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Can't stand that guy.
Boo that guy. No, the referral program updates, which I was kind of excited to hear about, and it was kind of like a non-announcement because they're like, hey, we're going to have announcements about the referral updates, and then they're like, yeah, we're announcing we're going to be doing referral updates, and I was like, oh, cool.
But Andy met like 2 weeks ago on her Twitter or something.
Yeah, it was last week. They had saying that we're going to talk about it. It's still coming. I don't know if it's going to come in this update with everything else or not. But the exciting aspects of it that we were good to find out this week was all the updates will be retroactive for the points, meaning if you've already recruited people and they've decided to slot in people for the referrals at the 40 slot, the 60 slot, instead of just making, after you get 10 guys, you can't do anything until you get 42, they're going to add incremental slots in there, and it's all retroactive. So even people you recruit today will count towards your referral goals for anything coming up. So if you got buddies that you decide to get into SC or they haven't subscribed yet, get them in there, have them do that stuff. Even if they're making free accounts and they're going to buy the game later, it'll still count once they actually put their money into the game. Yeah. So it's definitely worth getting those referrals out there now.
Or make yourself 100 accounts and buy a bunch of starter ships.
Yeah, if you have just liquid capital and you just want to throw it at the wall for no reason, that's.
No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that.
Yeah.
That's probably why we have 1.7 million citizens.
Yeah, because you can tell with the couple hundred viewers most of us get on our shows, and
100 citizens.
Yeah, 100 active guys with 1,000 accounts each. Yeah. So, also, they talked about they're going to be doing some sort of competition for referrals, which I have to think won't be retroactive. It'll probably be a separate thing for like moving from that moment, like through this week, whoever gets the most referrals or something. And they dropped the pink dragonfly comment, and I was like, yeah, so hyped about that. I mean,
the referral thing is good though, because if you think about it, it's not only is it a good distraction that we have almost no new content, It's very, very good because the actual thing that's going to make the game successful is more people. Like I've already put money into the game, and although you could keep putting your own money into the game to make it successful, you could achieve the same thing just by getting other people to put money in the game.
Yes, absolutely.
I know it's not like that. I'm being a little facetious here. I know that all you need is a starter ship to start, but everyone loves to get involved and play the game and figure out what ships are good and everything like that.
Yeah.
Now, are we going to talk about? I actually think it's worthy to mention that if you get 10 subscribers or 10 referrals, you get a Gladius, right?
Yes.
That's a good one. What I would love to see is if you get to 42 when you get the pack of ships, instead of it being only available in Arena Commander, that when the game goes live, you actually get that ship. I think that they should have referral goals. It could be 100 or something crazy, nothing stupid, but you get like 50 referrals. If you think about what that is, it's 50 times $50 that the game got at least. That should be worth a Cutlass Black.
Yep. And and that's a great point. And we talked about this in one of my shows last week. But my suggestion along those lines was we should get real coupons or real vouchers towards the choice of ship based on our referrals after so many. I don't care if it's 100. I don't care if it's 50. I don't care what it is. But let's think about this. You get 20% off now, though. Check it out. If you get 20% off if you're a $20 a month giver for a subscriber or whatever for a year, which amounts to, and then they cap it at 100. Why not get those same discounts as somebody who brings in 50 people, which is a lot more money. It's a huge amount more money. Those type of things, and then we're still making purchases in the game.
Game credit.
Yes, any of those things.
Just actual money. Like, here, go buy something in the store.
Which costs, again, CIG really nothing because it's digital media.
Nothing.
And it promotes us to be integrated in the game, makes us hype about it, and then we get better.
Buy it anyways.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that would be a better path for them to go, and they could offer a variety of those things, and people would continue to support the game. So
referral program's super important, and I like it. It's got no negative. One of the few things that people shouldn't be able to complain about.
That's right. Absolutely.
I already referred my friends, and I got
well, Gio goes off on a.
What about all the referral before they had the referral program in? So
that's the only negative thing.
And that's water under the bridge because they have no way to track that now. But yes, I agree.
That's the case. I can say I referred 1,042 people and get my goddamn Mile High Club.
There you go.
I got a question, man. How many people spam your chat with the referral codes during the stream? I didn't ask Noob because I think he already knows. I know he gets
fucking insane. It's infuriating too because I don't just ban people. I actually go in there and say, "Excuse me, don't you think it's a little bit rude to put your code on my video? If you want to do that, well, go make your own video and become." Work and then spam your code.
Well, that's why on YouTube I have all links have to be approved by me.
Well, that YouTube will automatically kill that.
Yeah.
So whoever thinks that they're being super smart, this is the funny thing about YouTube. In case anyone didn't know, things get hidden. You can see them. I can see them. Nobody else can see them.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. People think that they're being successful. Like, oh, it's so cool. I'm going to type all this crap.
And
I had one guy post.
It,
I whispered him on the first, like I banned him on the first thing. He posted up all this hatred in one of the videos, like 50, 60 things. I screen captured them all into one picture and then emailed it back to him. It's like, FYI, nobody saw any of that. And he called me like,
Yep.
And I'm like, well, now you're banned, right? You don't call me that in my own chat.
Yeah.
Everyone goes to types it now in my
YouTube.
Right?
Go type it. Line it up, boys. Line it up. No. But I agree. But in mine, that's half the reason why we don't have open links is because we went through a whole aspect of that. And I know a lot of people are like, well, subscribers should get linkage and all that stuff. Most of my guys are pretty cool about it. We don't worry about it. And it also encouraged more people to use Discord and different things like that. Because I'm like, I don't care what you link there, and I'll go back and delete it if I don't like it. But live in a broadcast using a show, it's not a good idea. It doesn't make sense. And on people's YouTubes that they're using to, that's their creative content. You're just pissing all over it. It doesn't make sense.
It's very, very good though. It is caught immediately.
Yeah.
Like I've never had to go in and say no. It's always in the spam buster.
Don't do this stuff.
Yeah.
Even when people say some asshat shit, like YouTube flags it right away.
Yeah. Absolutely. And you can control that. And that's what one thing, like also talking about what Gio's been dealing with the ED stuff. If Gio really didn't want the controversy, like conversation back and forth to make a conversation, he could just mitigate that. He could just say, nope, you can't do it. And then he'd still get the views, right?
Comments disabled.
But comments disabled.
That's the one.
But the whole
I
thing
hate seeing that on a video.
That pisses off trolls more than anything because nobody can say anything. They're like, oh,
well, then they're going to go find you on Facebook. They're going to go find you somewhere else where they can leverage you, right?
That's exactly what you want, though. You want people looking you out. You just don't want them stabbing you when they find you out in public. So, all that good stuff.
Video, the better it does. So you want those comments. That's why I understand why people disable their videos because it goes with the statistics and stuff.
Yeah.
Some people don't want to police all that shit, though. That's the thing. Because if they get it a lot, some people don't want it.
Then ignore it.
Yeah.
Like Gio's saying, just leave it. Let it go. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not going to read it anyways, just let it go.
Make your own video. Do that. So there you go.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. So the last thing we want to talk about before we get to some of the videos and stuff here is the other thing to announce. We're in the middle of a free fly weekend now. So that's awesome. If you haven't got to experience the game, or if you have a buddy who's like, I ain't paying money and shit, it ain't out, have them come try it out and fly it. That's all.
Or if you don't have a Super Hornet.
Exactly.
Or you don't have a constellation. You can do this.
Well, the great thing about a free fly, a lot of people overlook, is when their buddies are on the fence and they haven't made an account. Making an account is free. Okay, first off. So all they have to do is make an account. So if you give them your referral code to go out and use your referral code, you won't get credit for it until they pay money. But at least they're tagged with your stuff. If they buy the game later, when it is awesome and comes out, you're covered then.
What do you mean when it's awesome?
When it's awesome.
It is awesome.
It has its moments.
Hater.
It has its moments.
Hater.
I'm about to be a Jehovah Witness of Star Citizen with these fucking referral codes. Have you heard of Fast Roberts?
Yeah, knocking door to door. Do you own a computer, ma'am? Does it have internet access? You know, go all that stuff.
You need LTI in your life.
All right. So we're going to dive right into ATV. The first video we're going to look at here, it's just a brief little clip. It's going to be about the inner thought system and some of the parameters here. Now, we kind of discussed this before the show. Me and Noobifier did a little bit. We're looking at basically they're talking about interfacing with some of the switches, some of the things they've changed, like around the cockpit and stuff like this. Now, I know there's simulator fanboys and buffs and you aviators out there and all that stuff. That you love this shit. And that's great. And I think it's cool. I think it looks neat. As long as I don't have to interface this way. Because I personally, as a combat player, will never do this. It's cool you can, but whatever.
It's great. If you want to go through the process, you get in your ship and you do your pre-flight checks or whatever you want to do. But having to look around and move your little fake finger to move the shields around, that can be there, but it can't be the only way. And as far as I'm concerned, because that would break everything. And I don't even think that that's the intention. I think that we're just freaking out over something that we saw.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make any sense that they would make it only that.
And if you think we're freaking out now, just wait.
Oh yeah, we're gonna freak out some more over venting. Stuff,
spacesuits and stuff. We'll get to that. But Gio, what do you think about this, bud?
Well, at least it's not like DCS. You know, it looks like a little light version of this. I don't think they're gonna go that far because that community. It's a real niche community, and you're not going to get that many people.
Words you need to be careful about with CIG is I don't think they're going to go that far. You need to be careful about that phrase because they continually...
You know better.
Yeah.
You know better than that.
Toy, what are your thoughts on this stuff? What do you think about this?
I think at some point they're going to have so many commands to do stuff that you're not going to be able to remember them all, and it would be nice to just be able to look down and flip a switch.
Yeah.
So I like it.
Now, I could see this application, let's say I'm on a capital ship and I'm running radar or something or a comlink. Now, this would be more immersive for me because I'd be interfacing with just this one unit. Okay, I'm going to be less bored than just I hit ping or track stuff. That's cool. But in a fighter jet, personally, I'm not going to use this because, you know, you got voice attack you can use. Yeah. You got all the different things of that nature.
But it's neat though with Track IR. All this is effective with Track IR. Like I'm not wearing my rig right now, but for the first time since I've owned a Saber, I've been able to look down and look at the stupid screens that are too small. Just saying.
Yeah.
But I know they're getting fixed, but like, remember you used to be able to see the guy's name on the HUD wherever you locked on?
Yeah.
That went away because they were working on the HUD. And then you actually have to look down at the screen, and the way the screen's cut, your HUD's, here, or your MFD is here, and this is where you stop seeing. So you almost have to zoom out and then use your mouse to look down with joysticks. So Track IR and that, super cool. I like it. It'd be really neat if you could get a cursor with your head and then click a button to use. Right?
Yeah.
Like, you want to move the MFD left or right, you just use your head and then push one button on your joystick. That would be beast. However, making it so that you can only do that would be unbeast.
And like I said, as long as they offer options, I have no real argument against this. It just seems like a lot of extra work being done on systems like this than what I thought they would at this point. But that's fine.
This is all next level shit, though.
Yeah,
this is the stuff that people get excited over the game.
Yeah.
They're like, dude, did you see you could get out of the ship? Sorry.
Yeah.
No, that's fine. I was going to add in there, as soon as they get the VR headset support in this, that's the only thing I'm going to ever wear.
Well, see, this is the thing. I was just about to bring that up. In DCS, it's cool as shit because you could actually look at the dials and it's like that. But the pixels right now on VR, it's so bad.
Yeah.
It's like I'm waiting all the time to look at the dials and stuff. So
I've had an Oculus, so I know.
I'm at the moment. I'm not going to mess with VR until next gen. The next gen is going to be where it is for VR stuff.
I got it's still one of the coolest things I ever played with. I'm glad I bought it, but I think I could have probably waited a little longer for second gen.
Yeah.
Didn't they post that VR wasn't going to be a thing for a long, long, long time? Like it was.
It'll be almost like a DLC thing for Star System. It'll be post-launch. It's not going to be
because I wouldn't want to play 30 frames a second and vomit all over myself.
That's the problem. It's too slow a frame rate to support VR with the way they have it set up right now.
Yeah, you just have a bunch of skinny people with no food because they'll be just.
This is my prediction. VR will come maybe to the next part of the chapter of Squadron 42, whatever that is. I think they'll maybe bring it to the story, single player story, because it's easier than the universe. Because the universe is already dogged by frame rates. I can see the campaigns having VR support in them. Probably not the first iteration, not Squadron 42 itself, but maybe the next couple chapters, because that would be cool. But
they could just charge for that functionality like other space games.
Okay, like starts with an E and ends with D. Just saying, name dropper.
Like, oh yeah, DLC season pass.
Not to bring up the sore spots, right?
Not to salt.
Yeah.
Sprinkle.
Maybe
Such a good troll you are.
Maybe a little bit of salt. Not a lot of salt.
But I know one thing. If you're trying to get away from a hot area and you see that, you got to look at that shit and get it ready to fire up, you're going to be dead, dude. Like, there's no quick getaways with how they got that system set up. Like, I just don't see it unless you got, whatchamacallit?
Mobi-Glass.
Got the Mobi Glass, got a auto start on your ship or whatever, like a car.
Like a car start. Beep boop for the winter. Keeps warms up your.
Absolutely. Now this one was pretty cool. Now this is where we go to the expansion of the inner thought system, and they talk about some things like helmet placement and whatnot. Now that I think is pretty neat to have those options in there. And just like I said, the other ones are cool as long as you're not locked into it. But being able to place objects down, turn them, adjust them how you want, that's going to be important, because not only for like just aesthetically like laying your helmet down, but if you have other things like objects like turrets or shields or things, you're going to want to be able to orient those type things and do that stuff. So I think it's pretty cool.
This is basically grabby hands.
Basically, this is what grabby hands has evolved into. Yes.
Yeah.
But every game does this now.
Not like this, though.
Not exactly like this,
No,
but they have some functionality like it.
But every game, to some extent, does it. 'Cause they do in Conan with the building placement and stuff like that. It's the same stuff, It's just.
But the difference is right here, where if you have an object you picked up off the table in your hands and you decide, well, I want to throw it over there, you can hold the pressure.
That is very cool.
And now you can throw it at range. So it makes a whole new element of that.
If someone takes damage because you threw a helmet at them?
Oh, my God.
I would have fun for hours just doing that. In the PU
well, notice this. Now, notice when he picks up the helmet the second time and when he gets ready to throw it, you'll see how long he holds the helmet in that throw state. You'll see the little red dots poke up the top, and that's how far he can throw it. So it'll sit there and go 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's the range at which you throw something. That is just so neat that they have that type of functionality already they're playing around with in the game.
Well, see, my hope is they iterate this with like all the hanger flares, so you're not tied with this thing has to go in this slot, with these little dots, everything in the hangers. I hate that. If you could just pick up, your big bennies and place it down like that at any orientation. If I want to place my big bennies upside down or something, then let me do it. You know what I mean? And then my soup spills on me every time I press a button.
Burn yourself really bad. Absolutely. Let's go on to the next one.
So Inner Thought's cool though.
It is really cool.
I like the way you go up to it and it's like equip or it gives you the options right there. It's good.
I guess I did the same one there. There we go. This one's part of the stamina aspect we were talking about.
It's not as bad as venting atmosphere.
We're not there yet. We're not there yet. It's going to show that part next. But, the problem I have with some of this stuff, and I can't judge it fully until I try it, right? Until they implemented a build. But precursory, I am sorry. This might be closer to reality, right? The fact of trying to get up a wall where you're tired. You go normal, you get the wall fine. And you go tired, it's a little bit labor to get over the wall. And then fail to get the wall. That's the one I have a problem with. That's not fun. There's nothing fun about that. What's fun about it is the fact that, okay, maybe you can't get up the wall. But having a whole animation that I may or may not be locked into, trying to get up a wall and then failing backwards and not falling down or something. Like, Noobifier had a great example out there where we're talking about you should fall or actually fail to do it or do something that's more...
You flop over the wall.
Yeah.
Right?
Flop over would be good.
If you're so tired, you end up... Now, then, of course, you're like, well, now we're getting shot at the other side of the wall.
But what if you're being pursued?
Right. And that's just it. Like, I promise you, no matter how tired you are, if you vault over something like for that specific wall, chest level, you'll just fall over it.
Yeah.
And you'll end up like a sack of potatoes on the other side.
And maybe that's what you want, though. Because let's say if you're being pursued in a firefight, I don't care how the fuck I get over the wall. If I'm taking fire from my 6, I'll flop over the wall, whatever. Maybe I got 2 buddies giving support fire that way.
But this gets back to that same thing of we were talking about earlier. Like, at what point is it too much?
Yeah.
Right? And that's fine. Like, again, the reason I'm interested in Star Citizen is because it's next level. It's like really, really setting the bar very, very high. But we're getting into some stuff here that isn't game breaking, but it's not fun.
Yeah.
Right? It's more like work than it's like you're running like, do I need to wait 4 seconds, 3 seconds, or 2 seconds before I try to jump the wall before it'll let me?
Yeah.
So again,
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Finish.
No. Please go ahead.
I was just going to add it to that. Don't even forget about the point of they said they're going to be adding in the limping and stuff. So you walk up there limping and you can't even jump over the wall. So.
And now what? Your legs swap, so you can't jump over the wall.
Which opens up a can of worms of a whole new set of animations they have to make of how I'm getting over the wall when I'm limping. Maybe I have full stamina. Maybe then I have to flop. I mean, it seems like a rabbit hole of stuff they're opening up. And I'm not saying it's not cool visually out here, but from a playability aspect, I have concerns. I won't judge it finally until I try it, but I have concerns. It's something to watch for. Additionally, you know how passionate I am about Star Marine anyway. Have you ever been, I don't know. I get the winded and not be able to ADS and all that stuff, but that just seems like way over exaggerated for gameplay aspects. It just, I don't know. And I'm not saying
now, if you could fight it, now the thing is, like, so certain games like Battlefield, if you take the mini and you fire it and it'll climb, you can with the mouse bring it back down and maintain, so your skilled player will be able to overcome it. And if you think about it, that in itself is realistic because you're running and the guy's like winded, but the guy who's winded who really, really wants to kill the other guy will fight through, right? He'll maintain. So if all you need to do is do this to your mouse to get on target, then it's frustrating. A lot of people are going to be like, oh, it's so hard, but it's skill-based.
Yeah, it is.
And if you can overcome it, if you go spend 10 hours in Star Marine and you practice how to deal with it, then you should reward yourself by being able to kill the guy first. TTK, yours is lower. So again, it's a catch-22. Yeah. You're right, though. It is adding a whack of, animation transitions and all kinds of other stuff to the game that is immersive and lovely and great. And thank you so much, Chris Roberts, for all of your drive to make your team want more. But wow,
I just don't. It doesn't really scream fun to me. There's nothing about it that screams fun. I don't know, and maybe it will be. And my thing is, I'm really hoping that they're not putting these in to try to slow the game down. Because if this is their answer to slow the game down without trying single life or trying some of the results of death in those game modes first, I think it's entirely unnecessary. If they want to do it for aesthetically pleasing or whatever, that's fine. But then again, I have questions of how far do you run? How much stamina do you have? How's it impact that? If I have to run 15 feet and I'm wobbly like this every 15 feet, that's going to suck. Because the stretches of cover they have in the game are very far apart, even in their FPS levels. There's no way to run across the rooftop and be under 100 meters.
On that, though, it's very, very good. You look at Arena Commander versus the Persistent Universe. The Persistent Universe we have is this big. Yeah. They don't behave, like combat doesn't behave anywhere the same in Arena Commander versus PU. So what I'm hoping or what I'm thinking is that because they basically already have 3.0, working demo. Maybe they're playing with it. And the decisions they're making in Star Marine for this vault and all this kind of stuff, when you play it on, let's say, a ship, right? Something like Javelin, which obviously is a good segue. When you're actually doing it not in Star Marine, it may make a difference. And that's when we were talking about before, is Star Marine is supposed to be a PU simulator, but you should be able to go into arcade mode, maybe. Yeah. Something where you can just go play and have fun. And that could be your, super competitive. And then you go hardcore mode, which is exactly like the Persistent Universe. So you can still get that training value.
Yeah, they need that mode, and they really need to focus on adding that mode into Star Marine, I think, before these type of mechanics, in my opinion, because having a mode where it's like, maybe you die, maybe you have one life and then you have to wait, and then it makes people get that more tactical gameplay in there. Maybe add to where you can res each other or something of that nature, something that's more consistent with what the PU will be, not changing the base core of it, then start to add in these mechanics. Then you'll see if they drop these mechanics in before you have single life, it doesn't make any sense to me because they're not being applied. The game
they're not balancing. They're not balancing the game. They're balancing something that needs to be balanced later.
Yeah. Will stamina affect gravity? I don't think stamina will affect gravity, but gravity will be how you act in gravity will be affected by your stamina.
Yeah, because floating across space with a jetpack doesn't make you tired.
You would think.
What? I tell you what, if I run through 2 rooms, I'm out of stamina. I am going to be pissed. Because it's like in Conan right now. You got to eat like every 2 minutes. Not even, it's less than every 2 minutes in Conan.
It's not even funny.
Yeah, it's just.
Well, here's the other aspect to think about when it comes to stamina, though. We don't even have the heavy suit in yet, and the heavy suit we haven't heard about it again in a while. They said it was imminent to release, right? Much like a brand new ship that we haven't heard anything about. But the heavy suit was imminent to release, supposedly, and we haven't seen anything about it. If you don't have all the tiers of suits, then you add stamina. If you get winded in a medium suit, that heavy suit, you'd be walking 2 fucking steps, and you'd be like...
Yeah, you'd be walking like the frozen Terminator.
Yeah. And
just one question on the heavy suit. This view, right? Did you see the guy who posted up? He had an Eyefinity setup with 3 monitors.
Yeah.
When you're looking through this, what do you get on these sides?
Nothing at all. You get helmet.
Black screen. It's just, it could completely defeats the point of the double Pascal, Titan X's, and all that other stuff. Because it's just. Anyway, sorry.
I'll tell you what, the high fidelity you get at that middle 3-inch section though is fucking
4K
amazing.
Right here.
Yeah, best 4K on your phone, taped in the middle of your monitor.
Anyways,
yeah.
Sorry, that was a.
All right, next.
I'll say this though, you already how this works out, and it's not fun. In the games I play, the Armor is one of them. It's not fun when you have that sway when you're tired, and I think they even have it in Squad. So I kind of already know the outcome of what this is going to be. And
we'll see. My big concern is They're adding these things in now. I don't feel like the levels have been sculpted out to mitigate for this. I don't feel like all the suits or other elements have been in to mitigate and blend into this. And I don't believe the game modes are built for this yet.
Just FYI,
So
it did drop the monthly report. So
we'll look at it when we get ready to transition to our question thing. And if you guys have questions about anything, just go ahead and type !questions, yes, plural, in chat, and you will be able to link up to our questions doc, which I'll give the guys when we do our break transition here to that. And we'll answer any and all questions we can, even though we might not be the CIG devs ourselves. We will basically answer them like we're experts on everything you ask. So take everything we say with an opinion marker than a truth.
I'm a dev. Huh.
Yeah, you're a dev of something.
$40 packages are available.
Ooh, stock up on those too. Let's do that. All right, so we talked about Stan, we talked about this gun slate and stuff. This thing right here has me very concerned. This is suit punctures.
The venting. Yeah, you will always be venting something. Is what this is gonna.
I don't understand venting.
Well, I mean, in real life, you understand.
Oh, absolutely, in real life.
Game. Yeah.
Why?
In a video game.
Why?
I mean, it looks cool, but then you got to think like you're being shot at all the time. Your suit's gonna always be venting something.
Yes. Why? I just don't understand why. Why are we going to do this? Why are we going down the venting path? It's like, this is the future. Shouldn't they be able to self-seal? Why are we going to waste our time with venting? Does this mean we have to have something else that takes 10 seconds to heal? So 10 seconds to wrap the duct tape around my thumb, and then 10 seconds to give myself a Medi-Pen, and then 10 seconds to reload my gun? I'm 30 seconds in. I'm dead already by now. I just don't understand. I don't like it. I think it's a bad idea. It looks cool as shit, but if anything, if you're going to have suit punctures and those things, put them on the cheap-ass regular flight suits. Suits with armor that are marine suits that you know are going to get shot at, having venting doesn't make any sense at all to me. Doesn't make any sense at all.
Now, what if it only does that when it's wear and tear? It's not when you always get shot or a freaking rock may hit you or something like that.
Maybe. Application speaks volumes to when it would or would not work, but it makes no sense to me here. It really doesn't. It's just, okay, and if you vent, let's say this is the other question I have, and maybe Sean Nooner or the other guys who messes with Star Marine might be able to answer. They might not. If I run the 15 feet through that door right there in front of him, where I'm inside atmosphere again, supposedly, right? Because they have the shield thing up on some of these, is there going to be those shields where I run through a zone and I have atmosphere and then the venting stops? Or am I always venting? Would I suffocate my own suit? I don't understand, because that means your suit's pressurized inside. Right? So if you think you're pressurized, then you'd vent no matter what atmosphere you're in. It just brings so many snowball questions, kind of like some of the other stuff I've seen in the beginning. I'm not a fan of the idea of this. What do you guys think?
As long as it doesn't have as long as it doesn't make you drunk or blurry or something like that. If it's just like an animation venting and it's cute, it's just like a detail, then you probably just said this. I'm sorry. I was putting some links in the doc. Yep. But if it's like you have 10 seconds to fix it before you die kind of stuff, then it's just as that bad as adding eating while you're on a capital ship or all of the other things that trigger people in the forums. There's two different types of trigger. There's the people that trigger for no reason, and then there's the trigger because it actually is really, really bad. Yeah. And things that just don't make sense. Please, CIG, listen, because it's not going to be fun.
Yep. And let's say I'm floating around in space. Hendadenbird's a great point up in chat. If you're floating around in space and I get punctured and I'm venting, does that mean I blow around like a fucking balloon?
Ooh, that would be fun.
It's like what you know what I mean? It's like
Geo got balloon.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I'm just hoping that it's like your ship, when your ship gets wear and tear, you got to get it repaired or you got to buy a new one. I'm just hoping maybe that's what it is. I hope it's not like every bullet that hits you is like you looking stupid.
I mean, like if I go up against the Noobifier and he hits me in the leg, arm, and shoulder, am I like, duct tape on everything. I mean, what is this? Fix a flat time? It just, I don't know. I need more detail about this. I'm not a fan on the outset of something else. I have to patch or heal when I'm in a match like this.
I have a suggestion then. CIG, if you're going to post a video about a feature like this, the backstory with the pictures so that there's no ambiguity whatsoever. It's like, oh, don't worry about it. It's just it's just like a thing we've added so that it looks cool because, you get shot in advance. So we don't have to worry, I guess, about it.
Yeah.
You guys are going to shit.
Well, wait. We're going to
Oh my God.
We're going to do this live reaction.
I'm not shitting. I've already read it.
We're going to get ready to blow. Are y'all read it already?
No. Did you see when they're planning on releasing 3.0?
June.
Wow.
Well, I was expecting October, so that's good.
All right. Well, here's what
I'm happy.
So what's
TheNoobifier happy.
What's the little video they got of this too? I'm here playing.
6/29/17 is when 3.0 is aimed to be released.
And see,
are you really surprised though?
That's not the schedule changing. So that means because we all know what happened with.
Yeah, it's gonna shift.
It's gonna shift, so it may go right into fucking CitizenCon or game.
But just like we talked about earlier, the longest thing on here is the network, and I told you that. I told you the network was going to be the killer.
Oh, yeah.
Network is on.
This isn't a shock though. I mean, that's to me that's a conservative number. And I'm not a game developer, but I've seen, I've seen it. I was sitting at CitizenCon. We were all there, except Mitch, hater.
Yeah.
We were all there, and we're like, Squad of 42, and they're like, no Squad of 42. And I'm like, I kind of was a little bit upset, but I'm like, okay, good, because that's going to make it that the release is going to be better, right?
Can I just say real quick, that was the one redeeming factor that made me not feel as bad about not going. When I found out that it's like, it's like the only thing that made me feel like, God, I would have spent money.
It didn't matter though, because I didn't give a shit with Squadron 42, yes or no, because I had such a good time anyways. And I'm not just being super happy, Brian. It was actually good.
It was a fun time. I actually did have more fun with hanging out with citizens than the actual, whole event thing.
Yeah. Except for me, he doesn't remember me at all.
No, see,
except that picture.
I was really drunk, and then I took your picture. I think about
oh man, we sat there and hung out all night long in the penthouse. He doesn't even remember me.
Vodka. So there you go. Whatever that was, I don't think it was vodka. I don't know.
Now I will say from the schedule, if you look at it, right. So we can break this down a little bit and talk about this if we want to. If we wanted to, we can even play the video and all that jazz. It is 19 minutes long. The whole building a scheduled video and get a live reaction to that. But we're probably going to wait till after show to do that.
19-minute video.
Yeah, 19-minute video in the middle of the SpaceBro show. But I will say, I feel like they're kind of riding the fence on this to where the schedule is pretty aggressive, I think. But they are, while they're not implementing it out in a phasing thing, or I said, because we were talking about this before the show, where I still think that they're going to kind of divide things up and deliver this bit of 3.0, that bit of 3.0, all that stuff. They're setting up to do that. Because if you read it below the schedule, they're talking about the ETAs and deliverables across multiple fucking months when stuff's supposed to be done. I could easily say, oh, this is going to take longer, so we're not going to drop all of this until Y, or we're going to drop some of it here or there. So they're kind of dividing this up to where I understand they'll just say we won't release the whole thing till all of these deliverables are done. But I could also see them segmenting out to where they could stop some of these and deliver some of this.
But it is funny, though, if you look at the headings there, you've got Moon's surface outputs, So Moon's to me is the only thing, because Moon's you should be able to land on. And you look at 2 planets and debris field. I mean, it looks like debris field is going to be the blocker almost, right?
It's weird, it's okay. Yeah, but it's also when they put assets on them, when they put personnel to build the different things. We don't know. That's all internal stuff.
I don't. Not anyone. No one here should actually be shocked by that.
I'm actually surprised how soon it's coming, because I was thinking a lot later.
Yeah. Is it Evo Cody or at the end?
Evo Cody by June.
Okay,
that's what they're saying.
Oh man, public it may be around CitizenCon.
They don't have a public date. They don't have a public date.
somewhere between June 5th and June 12th, Evocati. So
2018.
Their aim dates. Well,
6.5 to
if you look,
6.15.
here's the thing. This is where I think the biggest mistake on this is. I love the fact it's out, but if you look at the actual chart, Evocati, sometime they're looking June, right? They're thinking, they say aim dates for PTU everyone is late June. So you're telling me they think they're going to test this at Evocati in 2 weeks and it's going to roll out to the next group?
Fuck
No, I think what'll happen, Mitch, is that Evocati will I believe, and we've seen it before.
I believe
Evocati gets it sooner than predicted. It sits longer than predicted in Evocati, and that the live to us non-Evocati comes about the right time because. But I've been burned in the past. Remember that time that Evocati went all the way to Zulu patch?
Yes.
That was fun.
It's happened. And then they talked about doing AA.
Yeah.
You know.
For this patch, they may. Because they did all that on 2.6.
I mean, and that's not a complaint on my part. I think they're going to need that amount of testing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
yes. 2.6, no, because it still came out.
This is too important a build to let it go live and have to just be like shitty. Really. I mean, you know.
You can't have it on 2.6 because 2.6, I'm going to be honest, was a letdown for me because I thought Star Marine was going to be a little better polished as much time as they took.
First quarter's been a letdown for me. I mean, I love Star Marine. I really do love it. I just want it to run right, but I love that game. I think it's really fun the way it is.
I mean, we got that win. November, December?
December. It's the very end of the year. They squeaked it in, and that was it. Up to date, up to right now, we have not had a build. People can argue with me about it, and I've had people argue saying, oh, we've gotten 2.61, those aren't builds. Those are incremental patches to fix the build. 2.7, 3.0 are complete builds if they, where they do. And they're going straight to 3.0, and that's fine. But that when this releases, it will mean instead of the original last year plan of like releases every month, which didn't happen. Then CitizenCon, they said, okay, maybe more realistic is every 3 months do a release. This will mean we will go half a year, basically, before you get in our release. Because they're talking, 6, 7.
But there will be distractions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Between now and then. It's not content, I get it.
Yeah.
There will be a new ship sale, like the Banu, whatever ship, the thing, the space penis with the shooting tachyons. That's what's that called?
The Defender, right?
Defender.
The Defender. Okay. Yeah. So that's going to come out. Everyone's going to get hyped over it. Everyone's going to talk about it. And I am hopeful that, and again, it would be really neat if we could get a Delta Patcher in with 3.0.
And that's what the next thing I was going to say. Where's our Delta Patcher?
That's what I wanted to see on this.
Because as soon as everyone knows, I'm not telling anyone anything they don't know. As soon as that happens, then you can do the 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4. Like, oh, hey, we want to add this. And, you click the game. I've played some games where every time you log in, it gives you like a 30-second download. It's like, here's your new update, a new patch.
Yeah.
And I think that would let the community actually enjoy logging in to see what's new all the time.
Absolutely.
A lot of these patches, if there's not a ship in there, I'm not even interested, to be honest. A lot of these patches.
Well, because they've programmed us for the shiny. That's really the only thing we have to look forward to and look at is the fucking the ships. I mean, let's be honest about it.
Yeah.
I like looking at the ships too. I might not buy them all now, but I definitely want to hear about them. I want to know about them. And when it's a capital and they show these great updates and stuff like that, I get excited about it. I really do.
About ships, how about that whole sea, bro? Did y'all like that?
Well, we're gonna get into that here in a second.
And that's my question on this list too. The third longest thing that's going to take is ships and weapons, but it seems every time we watch an ATV, the ships and weapons seem to be done. Why is it the third longest thing on this list? What do they need to do with ships and weapons?
I think they're not. I don't think they're done. I think they're in a hey, we can show you the way this looks stage.
Yeah, you can see what the shape looks like, but the damage states and the metrics and the thrusters and all that shit's not done.
Yeah, they can't show all that. So They did talk about, I'm going to skip over a couple things on our list here. They did talk about, and we'll just talk about it briefly. They talked about the UI team did a lot of work on the kiosk stuff. It is kind of cool looking to where they've got the interfaces for some of the containers and some of the way the shop pages will look. But we've seen some of that before. Additionally, the one thing I will show here, we're going to move forward to the HUD, because I think the HUD's pretty cool looking.
My question to you guys, how many increments of the roadmap do you guys think are smushed in this 3.0? Because it's obvious that it's like, I would say up to 3.2 on that roadmap is smushed into 3.0.
Well, yeah,
Well,
because
we were
it's got
shown-
mining in there already.
No.
They've shoved
What we were
everything
shown
in
that's the thing that Chris showed us, the PowerPoint presentation, like the 3.0, blah, blah, blah.
It's done. That's not
We've
even
already
there.
had stuff moved this way, and
If you go
I
back-
don't think there's a citizen in the planet that would actually still refer to that and say, see, we had supposed to have an 890 job. Right? It's not going to be there.
If you've gone back to the video, as what's been pointed out to me personally, they've edited the video. It doesn't exist like that anymore. They don't. All they show is 3.0. They don't show all the other increments at all. Because if you want to watch the original video, you have to watch my video, which I simulcast watched it live because they've changed the whole video up to see the original.
Yeah.
But it's kind of void and mute at this point. Yep, they've gone back and changed time.
And it's not negative. It's just the reality that shit happens and things change, right?
And you don't want more information out there that's misinformation than possible, because if you go back to the old shit changed, and if somebody goes back, catches that video, they're going to be like, oh, well, and their expectations will be totally different.
Right.
So, all right. So right here, they're talking about, I love this. It reminds me of the Freelancer update of all the HUD systems and stuff.
Well, they specifically said that they brought a ship HUD into the guide to test.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it looks so good. And I love the map down the lower left hand.
the mini map,
The mini map, so you can see what room you're in and all this stuff. Not saying that any of this will actually come into play, but these are good information systems. These are really interesting to me. You will see where they're tying into, and it's kind of hard to see because it keeps showing over YouTube.
Don't forget to with this that depending on the module you have in your Mobi-Glass, whatever, more money equals better sensor equals more information. All this is supposed to stretch goal was supposed to be, this would all be tailored to whatever you bought at the blaster store, whatever the fuck it's Cubby Blast.
That'll be cool.
Yeah.
But they talk about in there, you can see now something else you have to worry about, because they have the pressure up there, your oxygen, your mix, all that stuff on the screen. So they're talking again about suit pressure. You're losing pressure in your suit, all that stuff. My question is, if I fart in my suit, does it increase the pressure mass inside there? And if so, does it vent it properly? I don't know. I mean, we got to get all the details in, guys, because if we're going to have like bullet holes in there and I got to duct tape them, we're going to need every aspect of the suit fully covered here.
One guy's going to have to run over, tape you. The other guy's going to have to give you more oxygen. The other guy's going to have to give you Snickers.
It's like if you get a snake bite, are you going to fix the hole in my butt because I can't reach it, or what's that about? The whole premise. But I do love the look of this. It looks really cool.
The FOV was fat worthy because I've been waiting for that.
Yep. Definitely pretty neat.
I know Astropub is happy because he used to bring that shit up every stream.
Astropub likes a lot of technical gameplay, though. And this we'll have to listen to more than anything because it is the sound stuff, so I'll play it. Maybe.
This extends to other rooms, so a sound playing 4 rooms away will navigate the doorway and the area in between in order to reach the listener.
Magazine
new propagation system.
This is
will need that sound playing inside
this
the room.
is the door.
To appear to anyone listening from outside the room to emit from the door,
we could make
a window,
the
or any other opening. This extends to other rooms, so a sound playing 4 rooms away will navigate the doorway and the area in between.
Them sounds.
So the sounds are really important, and like myself, the Noobifier, and even Gio, we're pretty big on FPS stuff, and sound is life or death. It lets you know where you're at. It is. It lets you know where people are coming from, the approaches, all that different stuff. And those guys who play player battlegrounds like we do, we know how important it is to know if the person's
you can
upstairs.
see. You know exactly who doesn't have good headphones because they're the ones that are running off in the middle of nowhere.
Yep.
they don't know.
And so basically what they talked about here is how before you'd have, as we've seen in many of their sound videos, you see all the area sounds that they'll put all the little cues. When you're in an area, what sound you can hear, water dripping, all these things. Now they're talking about they've actually implemented the impact of doors and cover systems. So if it's in a hallway, you won't get that same audio bug where we're hearing it through the wall. It's not permeating that. If the door is closed, you won't hear the water drip or the footsteps in the air if it's airlock tight. But if it's open, you're going to hear that resonance of all those audio and stuff from the other room. So that makes it pretty interesting as far as like being contained in rooms, if doors are open or closed. Is there a firefight? All those different sound aspects and how they impact from your perspective. Instead of just emanating a sound, it's going to matter your position versus the sound versus what's in between you.
Yeah. And Aaron even said if there's air on the other side of the door and a grenade goes off, for example, you would still hear it because the concussion would still affect the door. But if there was no atmo in that room and a grenade goes off, there's nothing to move the sound. So they're actually modeling the state of the room. You know, remember that, I think it was a while ago, like obviously you go outside now, it's not tracked, but they're making containers, I think they called them, that the room equals pressure and all this other stuff, and it's all cataloged and it's all tracked. Sound in a vacuum, not happening, and that would be in this same scenario. You wouldn't hear a guy on the opposite end of the door because he's got no atmo. It's very, very cool. It's another layer. Cool. That one I do like, the venting suit thing, you know, like this is what I was saying earlier. Get into Spectrum and tell people what makes you happy and what makes you not so happy.
Exactly. You know, you wouldn't hear anything in a vacuum unless the bullets hit you. That'd be the only time you'd hear them. So,
ow.
Yeah, ouch. Everything else is simulated. But, you know, maybe they'll have a computer in there like the ships where it simulates the bullets coming at you or something. You hear audio or that's still the way to explain ship fights, right? So I'm a fan of this. I think this is great that they're focusing on some of the aspects that will make the game more dynamic and really impact the environments. And to put that in the same container as the atmosphere and everything else, it's gonna be really cool. It's gonna be pretty cool stuff. So brief little video here, just because since I'm love
new propagation
systems and stuff. Let's see if I got it right. Did I do it? There it is. The new weapon manufacturer, the Preacher. So Preacher arms, and these guns look slick as shit. And for those people who used to play any of the EVE Online or the S514 games, this looks very familiar to me. This looks like some of the Galente weapons, which had that smooth form factor and all that stuff, and they're pretty badass looking.
Looks like a damn alien gun.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because in EVE they have a very organic look to some of the weapons, where it's mechanics with organics like mixed, and these things just look badass.
Well, and that it's cool. Like I actually, the more diversity the better, and I like the fact that they're also working on different impacts, like different types of bullets do different things, and different companies look like something. Just like, you know, remember G.I. Joe was like red and blue lasers going back and forth? It's the same idea. You know who someone is because of their gun.
Yep, and here's what you're talking about right here, the weapon impacts and all the different lasers.
And look at the heat shimmer coming off that, and then there's also the vents on the Devastator when it's firing. There's like ports on the side. I'm sorry if I'm cutting everyone off. I'm
go right
just
ahead.
being a dick tonight. But this is what scared me. I was under the impression this weapon, the railgun, was going to be like a large charge time or something like that, but that was just boom, boom, like quite quick. And I know balance and everything like that, so don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that we're all going to die.
We also know we don't know if it has an overheat ratio that's really quick. Right. Maybe 2 shots and it overheats.
On dev mode so that they can test it, you know, just to get the effect. Who knows what it is?
It looks sexy as shit, though.
It's very cool. Yeah.
I want to see your field of view with that thing on your shoulder.
When the Marines just fucking carry that on Halo, that's what it reminds me of, the big rocket launcher.
Yeah. Oh, can you imagine if they have like rocket games like you did in Halo? That'd be so stupid in this, because it like jump around, rocket fights.
You might as well just play Quake.
Yeah.
We got some Star Marine match like that. They won't get skipped out.
I think that's your field of view right there. I don't think you have a targeting system. That's all you got. So that's really all you got.
That's the one that I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, with the insert.
The reload is very cool.
It is neat.
Yeah, some of those iron sights are icky, though. I need to put some dots or some shit on there, red scopes.
Yep. Well, I mean, and
that's what's cool about these guns.
It's supposed to come down the pipe, right? Like the modularity and stuff like that with some of the scopes.
Yeah, item port.
Yeah,
item ports for guns.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So we'll get into, oh, here we go. We're going to look at the whole C stuff real quick.
I can't wait to see like the band news weapons and shit though too.
The whole C, now this is giving me like trade-in remorse. Because I did have a whole C, and I'm like, I'll get one later, all that stuff. But I did used to own one of these before I melted it. And it's getting to look a lot.
transport ship.
I know, it looks so cool. Look at this.
The bad thing is that's not even the big one.
No, it's a small
one. I think that it's going to be nearly impossible to put, like they were even saying, like even if you're buying just water and putting it in their whole C, it's going to cost so much.
Yeah.
Fill up too.
Imagine.
It may be like a couple-hour process just to fill it up, and another couple hours to deliver it, depending on how far you go. And
it's not bad. It's just it's going to be like that's a lot of space, and that's the middle one. Yeah. So
look at all the escape pods. I mean, the lighting in it looks really cool.
It's awesome that they kept it looking like the Starfare. The interior, obviously, it's a MISC ship, so it's supposed to. And one thing I want to know is what it's like to go from the back section to the front section, because I'm assuming like the Starfare's got that plateau outside that it's just a metal grate.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that that's not a corridor, that's just a walkway between the back section and the front section.
But
like I got to go to the front, I got to put on my suit.
They've changed the middle of this, and it doesn't show you a good angle here. It looks like a solid tube. See, it's not.
Oh, really?
Yes, it's a solid tube that goes.
Because that should extend and collapse, and I was hoping that you wouldn't. I wanted it that you needed to get into a suit to go from one end to the other. I thought that would be so freaky.
I don't think
because you're walking and all you
it's...
see is cargo, right? And it would be quiet and it'd be creepy, Anyways,
I think it's integrated tubes. I think you're gonna have a tube slide inside of a tube to do it.
That's what I think is going to happen.
My heart broke.
I do like Noob's idea with the catwalk.
It'd be so cool.
But look how narrow these passages are. I really think it's going to be a
firefight outside in a vacuum. The ship's moving.
Yep.
I can't wait.
Whatever.
I forgot I ended up getting the E. So I got the B, C, and E. I skipped the D. Giggity.
I think
you could win a D.
I think the E is going to be so fucking expensive to fill.
It's bigger than the engine. It costs more than the ship to fill up.
Yeah.
So,
in water.
It's going to be stupid. It's like, well, I'm hauling low. And then it's going to be so slow and cumbersome if you don't have a full organization contingent to protect it. If you're actually taking it somewhere of value, you're going to have to keep it in safe space and just relay stuff. Because if you get caught with that thing out somewhere, oh my God, the amount of devastation and loss of money would be astronomical. You'd lose so much water that it would cost ridiculous amount of money to replenish. It'd be insane.
I got 15. I need 15 ships, at the minimum protecting me. Maybe more with that thing. Then you got to have crew.
I like all the forum posts where I saw everybody trying to use these as pocket carriers, where they're attaching ships to them. The practicality of attaching a bunch of ships to one of these for anything other than transport from area to B seems so ridiculous to me. It's like, I'm going to EVA outside the ship, get in my other ship.
How boring would that be?
Oh my God!
You're sitting in your an M50, let's say, stuck to the outside. You're like, waiting for awesomeness to happen.
Yeah, I like Kamikaze's kind. It's like, and if your ship full of water blows up, you have ice because it instantly freezes the vacuum. It's like, well, there you go. We have the world's largest ice maker, basically, out there with us. So, for sure. All right.
At hope. Yeah. So trading, mining confirmed for 3.0.
All right. Now I am going to play the audio on this, and we're going to let this go because this is the ship porn version of the Javelin thing. It's the. I love this.
I'll just fat with BB-8. Come on, BB-8.
Yeah. It's just got music, so we can still talk, but. The reaction I had on this, I got a reaction video on this thing. It's amazing. And I was just like, I didn't really grasp everything I was looking at because the lighting where they got it all darked out.
Did you notice the basketball nets there?
Yes.
It is.
The 4K HD basketball court inside the...
I'm excited for
not just the court, but the hoop is there and everything.
More than anything, I'm excited about that.
Yeah, so it's been confirmed Gio's excited about the hoop.
Well, here's the thing they don't want to tell you, though. This is going to be 95% experience of the players who own these. By themselves on the bridge, turn the lights on, going, I don't know how to drive this thing.
You have to use your finger to turn on all the light switches.
It's just fucking. It's so beautiful, though, man.
Yeah.
I really want one now. I'm determined to get this someday.
I don't know what, like, I like it, but for me, it's like, how many people are you going to need to run it successfully? And then running it successfully, what would you do with it other than, you know, I get it, it's a destroyer, you go kill people. I get it. But
for people who don't know, those sexy ass guns right there do not come with that shit. It's you have to go out, look for them, buy them, and then fucking get them on there. I don't know how much it costs.
I like how they all retract in, because it does make sense. A real military ship would have things that are protected, right? Just look at Battlestar, how the sides open up and everything.
Well, I don't know that the side guns retract, though. I think it's just the ones on.
No, that's what those. No, those 6 holes on the top are turrets.
So those retract too on the top. I thought just the big rail gun on the top that comes in.
No, because they have another shot of it with all the guns out.
Oh.
And when you see it, you'll see there. You know that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those holes, those are turrets. And then there's the asymmetrical hangar off to the left, which is kind of cool as well. I don't think Aegis has anything asymmetrical yet.
That's the last Aegis ship I got. Every Aegis ship except for that one.
I'd also like to say the detail they did on the bunks, where it has a screen. That's fucking neat to me. I'm like, you know, so you got like a little TV. It's like that would be more realistic to what it would be. That'd be because some of the areas and spaces when I got in the Starfarer, I was honestly a little disappointed. It didn't feel alive. You know what I mean? They're cool spaces, but they need life in them. And I think so the changes making this we'll see carried over to all of them with some of the stuff, and it'll be really neat.
I liked that they specifically said that, you know, that this has 3 sections in it, and the bottom end looks, you know, like engineering and crappy, and then the mid level is all beautiful, like you know, apple white, and then the top is all your sciencey stuff.
There's your basketball court.
So
it's empty.
Gio's like, I'm so there.
Confirmed.
Yeah, working on his 0G fadeaway.
That sold me on the shit. That and the fucking air hockey table. I said done deal, bruh.
Well, there's a like shield or radar station where it gives you a full compass of the ship for damage reports. It's amazing looking. It's really amazing.
It says, you know, on the ship page, I don't know how accurate that information is, but
that was their intended stuff, so it should be very accurate, right? That's their intended path.
Max crew of 10 to run it.
No fucking way.
That's what it says.
The Polaris is 25, according to the book.
I know.
Okay. Just saying what the page says. So.
I know. Come on, Spectrum. Get that shit updated. Come on.
No. Max 10.
Who's it? Turbulent working on it? Turbulent needs to get on their ass and get it.
No, when they say Max 10, that's what they say it's going to take 10 people. I'm promising you 6 turrets, 7 turrets at least, right, that you can see.
It's going to take 4 people to fly the fucking thing, minimum crew on the deck. There's no way.
Yeah.
Because it's like, where are we going?
Oh, you got med bay, you got engineering, you got... Yeah. What, this thing has missiles? I'm assuming this thing has missiles or something.
Yeah, Polaris is max crew 24.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. There's no fucking way that this is 10 people.
Well, that's because on the Polaris you haven't seen yet, but the oars come out. And we got to...
That's the court, bro. They get on the court and they do... It's 5-on-5. That's how basketball's played. That's what they did.
Yeah.
Okay. I like it. So yeah, if you go back, sorry, you just had it. If you go back to that fly through, you'll see the turrets on the outside. What I think I saw. I could be crazy, but I'm pretty sure that those holes on the sides are turrets.
I know they have turrets on the sides, but I thought they were at the top, and then those sit there. And I thought they did we'll see in the next video. But I thought they talked about the fact that you don't know if they're in a state of ready to fire or not, and that's why they made that rail turret that comes up.
I mean, I would approach with caution, anyways.
I believe that the Idris can hold more cargo.
No, it looks like I think you're right. I think they're in there. It's hard to tell because see, they got the hatches.
Yeah,
I think you're right.
I'm pretty sure. Like in the beginning of the video, there were just doors there. And then now there's more beaucoup.
Could be right.
Now, does anyone know if this thing has, you know that Idris has a main cannon? Does this thing have anything firing out the front, or is it just like windows and stuff?
I think
it's is this only turrets?
I think it's all turrets.
He does it, I think.
Yeah. But
yeah, this doesn't have a main gun. This is a force multiplier of firepower, like tons of firepower, but no like big weapon like that. And that's the balance between them.
Yeah, it's still cool. Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong. This
is
shiny.
something where you'd want to focus all your cannons on another big ship, or be a basically AOE protector of like against fighters. Like, you aren't going to come up on this thing because it's got so many small turrets that are on it. It's going to one-shot fighters out of the sky everywhere. Whereas I think things like the Bangle, the air stuff could be good ship-to-ship fighters with fighter bomber support and things of that nature.
I like the fact that you need to keep all the ships like together in a composite fleet to get the benefit of all of them. Yep. Like, you have your Javelin, you won't get, you get an Idris, and then you get a couple more ships to support, like you are not going to get all of it with one ship. I like
That's right, because there's no full win button. Even when you go to something you capture like a Bengal that you can't even buy, by itself, it's just a huge fucking target. And if you don't have
the
support,
Polaris, the Polaris is basically a super retaliator.
I look at it like a PT boat. It's a patrol boat to go hit big targets, but it's not going to be able to engage tons of multiple craft by itself. It's a, oh shit, we found guys, we dropped some torps on like a big ship and wounded it, but it could get dogpiled just as easily.
So my question is, you see all those NPCs in there. Is this like a little slice of Squadron 42?
I think so. I think you're seeing some of the canned motion of AI. I don't think it's a full autonomous thing.
Love the way the AI is walking in that. I mean, they've done such a good job with the...
Well, you see familiar idle states too, right? Like, other than the pathing on these guys, which is pretty new and looks good, the idle states are very familiar with the character models we see now. They're just much better character models, right? Looking around stuff, you see the flight crews chilling out, and they're kind of leaning against stuff, then moving around now. That's the same type of stuff we've seen even some of the shopkeepers kind of do. Cross arms, uncross arms. But it's just getting to the next level. Just more stuff.
I have a question. Do you think, so do you actually think you're going to have to walk around the ship? Because if this ship was a real ship, 24/7, the lights wouldn't be turning on and off on the bridge, right? Do you think that they did that just for atmospherics, for the drama of it? Or do you think that it's actually going to be like you walk in and everything is off and it turns on?
I think if nobody's there, things will turn off.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool if they did. So I think they talked a little bit about reactive lighting and stuff like that. I don't think it's going to be something you have to flip a fucking switch every time. I think it's going to be like everybody's got a hue unit to where we could just have, the lights come on or off based on where we are. But on a bridge, I don't ever see it being dark, so I'd say they did it for atmospherics in this one and just environment to show us, to make it look cool. Because I'd tell you what, if I'm captain of the ship and we're going somewhere and I walk on the bridge and there's nobody fucking there, I'm going to be a little pissed off, like, who's driving this motherfucker?
Someone give me a sandwich.
Who's driving this thing?
How many ships did the Javelin hold again?
Javelin holds like 1 or 2, maybe.
One Vanguard.
And remember, if it holds a fucking ship, you're right there. You're not playing basketball because that's your fucking basketball court.
See, basketball
that's
court.
That's a deal breaker.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure, isn't that the same floor as the basketball court? I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah. It's the basketball hangar.
Yeah.
Oh, well, the ships kind of go then, because I need that.
I know. He's like, every time I try to do my fadeaway, I hit a Vanguard.
But you could step up the game by opening the top and letting dudes play basketball.
Oh, that'd be it. Fucking, you try to MJ that shit from half court. You like open up the top and you're like just sailing.
See, that's another funny thing, because on the Idris M page, one of the pictures shows like a big, humongous flight bay with 3 ships in it.
Yep.
That's what it was to begin with.
Yeah.
And it still won't hold that many more than that, depending on the size of ships you put in there. It's not a huge, huge bay. This only holds like right here on that scene, actually, that we just passed by. I think that's... I'm pretty sure this is the same area. This is the basketball court, and this is also...
I'm looking at.
Yeah.
No way.
Maybe that's a cargo bay. I know that this thing's supposed to be able to carry a butt ton of cargo. The only other way that they could do around it would be to have one elevator for a ship at a time, but actually have multiple ships there. Like if it's that large... again, until we see it come out, we're all speculating. It doesn't. I know its purpose isn't a pocket carrier. It's labeled as a destroyer. So should it have any ships? No, it shouldn't. But it does.
Yeah, because even the Polaris has a ship bay, even to hold the Gladius, right?
Gladius, yeah.
Here, hold on.
So wait, the Idris holds what, 2 Gladius, right? In a what's that little yellow ship?
There. That's
Argo. That's it. I always forget the damn names.
Yeah. So you got basically
for a minute.
At least 3 fighters.
That's the new basketball court hanger right there on my pitch.
Yep.
In the Javelin?
No, this is on the Idris page.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So the Idris is, but I mean that's expected. Like the Idris is supposed to carry fighters more than the Javelin.
That's amazing. It could hold more than the Javelin. I'm just shocked by that.
Yeah, but the role of the Javelin is the destroyer. Guns.
Ships. It won't hold the cargo. It won't hold all those things in conjunction with it, and it doesn't have hardly any weapons on it. I mean, the Idris has a larger cannon if you have the M, and only if you have the M. But it has. There's so much. I'm trying to find the part that I was looking for the when he's talking about it, because they show all the decks.
Dicks.
I know what you heard.
Inner monologue.
Yeah.
Dong slider.
Yeah, and that's why Toy doesn't beat me in FPS anymore, because he can't play it since he went dong slider.
Yeah, we think that they
So here you see a side profile, kind of limited the way I got it set up right now, but you can kind of see the there it is, the division of the decks of the Javelin. So what we were probably looking at to begin with was the top decks, right? It would have to be for the division of how it's broken out. He's got this little animation here where he drops in.
Maybe Disley's a fucking beast. I told Aaron, I was like, man, you guys are doing a good job with the ship. He was like, no, Nathan Disley and his team.
So you can see how it all breaks down there. Because you got the mid decks, the bottom decks, the sub decks, and the profile there. But it's like it kind of wraps around, so it's like the ships would be stored. They're actually in the back half here, right?
On that ass.
And play air hockey too. We almost forgot about the air hockey table, guys.
Bruh.
I'll get you on some air hockey.
They need a bar on this thing. That's what they need.
I'm sure there's somewhere. See, there's so much more room. This is why when people are like, "Oh, I can't believe it's got that much more room," than it has huge amounts of room. Its primary role, like Noobifier says, is not carrying spaceships.
It's not a pocket carrier.
Yeah.
It's not a carrier.
It's not.
It's the destroyer.
To me, this is an org ship for people that don't have a Bengal. This would be the ultimate one. Yeah, because if you don't have a Bengal, this is the one you could buy, because it's a floating fucking city. It's got plenty of cargo room and all that stuff. But if you want the support, you have this. You have some Idrises. You have some other things to support as far as fighter craft go. But even if I had a Bengal, I'd want one of these son of bitches to protect it, because the amount of turret stuff on it, if you had 1 or 2 Javs next to a Bengal, that is like a defensive formation that's ungodly. Because look at all the amount of ammo and refitting and everything else this thing can carry. This is your armed transport ship from hell.
Like a warehouse in there. God damn, bro.
This is where, this is my version of a Hully. The one that can defend itself from a lot of shit.
That's very true.
And the other reason I'm really going to like it, and he goes into a lot of this right here when he's discussing the Jav and whatnot. Because he looks at everything from an FPS perspective. All the hallways, all the other aspects of it. Keep it interesting, but don't keep like long-range fields of fire, so that way it has nooks and crannies and turns. So if you do the boarding measuring, you have all that type of stuff, it keeps it very fun going back and forth. So it's an amazing ship. The flight control, just with the panels working and everything, it makes it look so much more interesting.
That thing's fucking amazing, bro.
Yeah, I can't wait.
So I hope they give, like during Evocati PTU, they give you access to all the ships or whatever the new ships are. Yeah. I don't think I'm ever going to be able to afford one. I've had other people offer me hey, would you like to borrow my account so you could see it when it comes out? Obviously, that's really nice, but that to me is kind of a gray zone. Like, that's a lot of trust because you can do a lot with, I was flattered. At the same time, all I want to do is walk around it.
Look at the size difference, too. There's the Idris below it.
Yeah. Bonkers.
And you can see up here in this corner, this is where the ships actually come out. So that's your limited section of ships. So it makes sense where an Idris could hold 3 to maybe 6 ships, depending on size and scale, inside of it, whereas this one has 1. Because, again, it doesn't, there's nowhere else for them to come out except a door that raises up.
Yeah. Well, they even mentioned it. The size has already changed. So every time they redesign something, the size changes.
Now, see, the Isworth guns out, I don't know.
Yeah. No, those are the 6 ports on the top that were closed on the beginning of the other video.
Yeah. I didn't see that one.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, that one comes out. Why not all of them? So, yeah.
Yeah.
It comes out back there. It's got like its own little position.
Maybe that's the rear again.
And you wouldn't just leave a gun floating around in space if it didn't need to be.
Yeah.
Right? Tuck it in.
Well, it creates an interest, too. That way, if you come up on it or a ship, they know if you're being aggressive posture or not, too, right? If you can see the guns out or not.
Yeah, pop one turret. Pop one turret and
do every other one and make some smoke come out of the front to make them think we're wounded. Come on. So, yeah, there's so many cool things about it. But yeah, I want one. It makes me drool for it.
Yeah, I got to think about CitizenCon or that. I don't know.
Oh, that'd be a hard one.
I'm going to Germany. You won't remember me.
Yeah.
Don't
worry, Toy. I'll remember you.
This year, I'll take a picture of Gio, and
then he'll forget about you too.
He'll forget about me.
There we go. There we go. Well, that's what happens when you start drinking Astropub drinks.
Yeah.
Don't remember anybody.
That's the hall.
Don't remember anybody. All right, guys, we're at the point of the show. We're running a little bit longer. Obviously, we started later, all that stuff. We're going to go ahead and get ready to take a brief break so we can get up and I can use the bio and all that stuff. And we're going to come back and answer your questions in just 2 minutes. So we're going to do that so we can get fresh beverages and all that. We're going to knock out your questions, and we will be giving you away tonight a $10 gift card for one lucky viewer. So stay tuned for that. And then we'll be doing the SpaceBro after show. With probably just me. I'll let the other guys go or whatever, but if anybody wants to hang out or come on, we'll probably play some PUBG, but we'll be breaking down the entire schedule report and nitpicking on that and reading through that and watching that video for the next 20 minutes while we do a live reaction to that. And yeah, so give us about 2 minutes. We're going to be doing all that stuff. So, it's also wants to give away a ship. So as soon as he private messages me and lets me know what ship he's going to buy for the entire stream, we'll do that and just let me know. So let me know.
Guests must stay and suffer.
Yeah. So thanks for donating that ship. So he wants to give away a ship. Just let us know what that is, and we'll be right back after this break, guys. That's awesome. Yeah, no doubt. We'll be right back, guys. And we're coming back, guys. Here we are. We're back. Poof. There it is. Oops. Fucked up our green screen, all that good stuff. There we go.
Immersion's broken.
Immersion's been broken. No, my suit's leaking air. So we got some questions here, and again, you can always ask your questions at !questions in chat. We'll give you the link. Also, the beautiful keyword raffles up there right now for a $10 Star Citizen gift card. All you have to do is type in sub for more entries in chat.
Allowed to enter?
Sure.
You know what, mate? Since it's Good Friday and we've seen some beautiful carrier ships, can I give away a Merlin if someone has some of those damn carrier ships? Is that okay? Do a Merlin giveaway?
Merlin, are you going to hang out for the after show?
Yeah.
We'll give it away on the after show.
Okay, after show.
Let me do the $10 gift card.
Okay.
We'll do that. We'll do both. We'll give them both. Double down.
I like some ships, huh?
Yep. Since I can't give in totally because it's also wants those ships, you know. He's in there, he's like, give away some ships. And I'm like, we ain't listening to you. We appreciate your viewership, but we ain't listening to you. So all right. Let's go with the first question. First question's from Zocern. Zocern said, how would you tall some... I know he does English primary language. How would you tell someone that is starting Star Citizen what is good to do to get money? So what would be a good profession to make money? Well, it's hard for us to dictate that because right now you can buy everything in the game easily by just salvaging stuff, and we don't know what the professions will really pay out until they start to pay more missions. But
in the future, because to me, the easiest one to do is Starfare. They've already confirmed that you should be able to solo that. You don't have to mine for it because the schmutz is just out to grab. You can convert it into fuel and sell it. The only factor for me is securing your Starfare.
Yep.
But aside from that, that should be the easiest way to get the most money.
Self-sustaining wise, yes, without having to go third party or
it's just there. You don't have to go like a prospector has to land and go get and collect. This just flies and scoops.
Yep.
Well, I think, let's say if he's on the starter side, he's probably thinking of a future career. No one really knows right now. Yeah. My safest bet, if I had to roll the dice, there's always going to be money in freaking trade. That'd probably be like the largest market because of course.
Yep. If you're not going to go individual occupation like Starfare, trade is a great way because you can just relay goods from A to B. For some of us, I think that'd be kind of boring. Although I think it'd be kind of neat in the beginning when you haven't really experienced some of the ships. I think I'd be fun with some carrier runs and whatnot. But I think long term, it's not something I'd be interested in. But probably also an even better way to make money, to be honest, than just mining. Fuel would probably be the safest, self-perpetuating way to do it with Starfare. Trade, you'd probably be tempted by the larger contracts that would probably be very expensive to go to very dangerous areas. And that's where it could get really ambiguous. So I'd say starting out, run some missions, get a feel for the ships, decide what your favorite type of ship is, and then find an occupation tied to that is what I would do.
Yeah. I just want to do a sound check. Is that better?
Yep. How about here? Sound check?
Yeah. Is it too loud?
Am I too loud? Oh, they sound too quiet.
They're saying all the guests sound quiet except for you, Matt. So
we're
doing a sound check real quick.
All right. Every time I turn you guys up, then they complain about the whiny mixer thing. Too much gain on it. But I'll turn you guys back up.
You have too much gain.
Too much gains, baby.
So yeah, with regards to the future, I still like the Cutlass Black. What I'm seeing, to me, that's your $100 sweet spot. I think it'll be your kind of shitty fighter, kind of crappy cargo, but you're gonna have some diversity there, right?
Absolutely.
Well, let's say if the guy didn't want to spend over $60, what would you guys recommend?
Avenger Titan.
Yes,
always.
Yep, Avenger. Yep. Yeah, Avenger Titan is always my go-to ship. As a matter of fact, when I had sense, when I said, okay, $60 my limit, that was my main ship, right? Because it's like the trade ship right there. So
absolutely.
Okay, you buy yourself a starter and upgrade it to an Avenger Titan. Done. You have missiles, you have some ballistics, you have some lasers. You don't have Sucker Punch, which is nice, and you don't have the cargo bay full of beds and whatever you want to call it, crisis or stasis fields, right? You just have a straight up cargo bay. Good.
Yeah.
Good ship.
Absolutely. All right. Well, hopefully, Zosern, that addressed your question. Let's see. So, Guns and Glue asks, he says, do you think CIG should count gifted items towards this $45 minimum since you can only gift things once, making it impossible to abuse the referral system? I see what he's saying.
I do. Yeah. No, if I paid for it and I gift it to you, that should be in my account. That's the way it works, and that I think that is how it should work. So if I send Gio a gift, yes, I'm sending him the game credit, and he can melt it and do whatever he wants to it. But on the ledger, towards my concierge, it's mine, and that makes sense.
And that's why, because it would be abused if you could gift it to another account. Because let's say one person had 2 accounts, he'd gift over to himself. Yeah. So,
craziness.
Absolutely.
And don't say that you can't gift something that has been ungifted, because all you need to do to gift it back is to take a $800 ship, let's say, melt it, buy a $20 Archimedes Merlin with real cash, and then go buy your $800 ship back with it and gift it back to the guy. So that's not there's a workaround for that.
Yep. Absolutely. Agent 121370 says, do you guys prefer travel times that may exceed 10 to 15 minutes to travel from system to system?
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like, he's talking about short runs.
Do we prefer travel times that would take over 10 to 15 minutes to go from one whole system to another?
Yeah, why not?
I'd say absolutely.
We're in quantum drive and
the reason I say this is also because people get stuck in their head things like Elite Dangerous or EVE Online and these things where going through a system can be relatively quick, but they have a lot more systems. Our systems are vast in not only content, the way they're creating them. I mean, look how much gameplay is planned for one solar system. I mean, it's insane. And then we have the planets we can land on, all these different aspects, and it's not just a like spore type game planet where it's a little round ball and you're like zip around it. It's a full-bodied planet or a planetoid in those type of aspects. It needs to take that long, because otherwise, if you only have like 100 systems at full fruition of the game, or 110 or wherever they plan, 10 to 15 minutes, I shouldn't be able to travel the entire thing in like 6 hours. That seems ridiculous to me. It's just not that much. And there's nothing saying traveling from some systems to another wouldn't be just 10 to 15 minutes, because it's not traveling across the system to get to the next system. It's traveling to the jump point. And then you have to traverse the jump point to the next one. And there's not saying some systems won't have jump points really close to each other. It just depends on each solar system is different.
So that's like saying Euro Truck Simulator, I'm going to drive from like Frankfurt to England. And as soon as I leave the parking lot in Frankfurt, it's like, poof, now I'm in England. I've completely defeated the point of the whole game.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm not saying that you should have to sit there for 8 hours to get from, one co-located sector.
Yeah.
But definitely, I don't want to be able to go jump across the entire universe and be on the other planet. I want it to be an experience and deliberate, and, that's part of the appeal for me anyways.
Yeah. And the other thing you have to consider is the fact the way they're not driving the content like EVE does or some of the other games where you get a mission here and you have to go 3 jumps over for everything. That's what EVE does. You have to go here to here. It's not about inter-solar system play. It's about going between systems to play. Most of the content that you get for missions and stuff will be within the same solar system. And they're supposed to have, literally, according to Chris Roberts, hundreds of hours in a single solar system of gameplay. Even if you're playing PvE, that's not talking about our content that we create between each other and players and trades and all that stuff. Just general mission-based stuff is supposed to be hundreds of hours worth of gameplay. So there's lots of content there for it. And I think once we get our hands on it, as long as they fulfill the role in the capacity of what they're saying, you'll get that and you'll feel that. You won't have the need like I have to go a system over and a system back and a system over and a system back. I don't think you'll have that. I think you'll complete gameplay over time in an area, and then maybe only go to adjacent solar systems for most part. There might be the occasional really high-paying job where you have to go a few systems over, but I don't think it'll be like go 20 jumps, 30 jumps, because that's one of the worst parts of EVE, where I have to travel 30 jumps to do a mission and 30 jumps to get back.
Yeah.
So,
and they need to have a lot of space for interdiction too.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, I think 15 minutes is a pretty good in between between the people who want it long, people who want short times. I think that's a good.
Well, they want things to happen to you in your travel. I mean, because it's a dice roll. You go through there, you might get interdicted by pirates, and these aren't players; these are NPCs. They want you to have component failures, maintenance stuff. They want you to get out of your cockpit chair and move around your multi-crew ship and do shit while you travel.
Oh, play fucking basketball and air hockey.
Basketball, exactly. That's why it's there.
And those of you flying a fighter, well, you can't get there anyway. You're going to have to go gas station to gas station to gas station to gas station to gas station because you don't have the capacity to go there straight shot. Even if it was 5 minutes, you'd probably have half an hour worth of gas station stops and other things that occur to you. So you're going to have to.
Oh, you could just sit in your little ship on the whole E-wing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there you
like you're on the bed of a flatbed tow truck that picked up your car. You're just rotating to drive.
Sorry, noob.
So
I know.
But I do understand the argument of people wanting to just go and get to A to B. But this isn't that type of game. This game, part of the travel thing is a time sink. It is part of the thing to make you feel that. But they don't want you to make it feel like a time sink. They want to give you things to do while you're traveling. And that's part of the freedom of being in the first-person type aspect and traveling in your ship. They want you to experience and do things in your ship.
Like, look at players' battlegrounds. I mean, you go there, you loot. That's part of the system before you even see any combat. You're sitting there 10 minutes, 15 minutes looting before you even see some combat.
Yeah.
Everything goes off. So it's just, it'll be part of the gameplay. It'd be cool.
Yeah.
I really don't want my ship to be breaking down, a brand new ship to be breaking down every 5 minutes, though, either.
I think it's also how you treat it, though. You know what I mean? If you're going around doing maintenance or whatever, you'll probably get the choices going to like a good fuel place or like Geo's discount fuel stocks. You know, get a half cut whatever.
Honest Geo.
Yeah, it's like why is my gas fucking up my motor?
Why is there the word honest in front of your name? Like why would you do that if you're not?
Yeah, if you're not honest, I don't understand. You know, clearly the painted letters on the side of the stolen gas truck meant that it was really good shit. Those type of things. Also, the quality of parts you use. I guarantee there'll be degradation of parts. You can buy like, you know, Joe's pick and pull fucking replacement parts. You can buy new stuff, and I think either way you'll get that. But I don't think it'll be like something breaks down every time. But I do think you'll run into pirates. You'll run into opportunities. If you're traveling, you'll see distress beacons that you may or may not choose to respond to. Those type of things. They want you to get that type of experience there.
Distress beacons.
Yep. Yeah.
I don't know. Do you think it'll be boring if they get the mechanics right? I don't know. See, I don't think it'll be boring.
They're gonna try to not make it boring. I mean, they don't. Nobody goes in with a plan. It's like, God, we gotta make this shit can boring.
We gotta make this game totally like going to work.
So at this point, we gotta give them time. We want to make sure it lasts 10 minutes so they can get up and make a sandwich because they don't want them to be playing our game during this window. No, they definitely aren't gonna go for that route. They want to make it fun and engaging. But they also don't want to make it instant travel for everybody because if you did that, if Geo wants to trade from A to B and I'm trading from A to B, our paths should matter. Our choices on the way there should matter. All those things should matter to who gets there first. You know, maybe he gets interdicted by pirates. Maybe there's a distress beacon I have to choose to ignore or whatever. And those type of things impact like whether I get there to deliver first.
Yeah. And then like I said, I'm taking my whole Lee out on it. 2-hour, flight to get this trade to get the big money. Yeah. It makes it that travel that much worth it because when I go there, I'm gonna get a big. I know I'm gonna get a big payout. It's not some local 15-minute ride with my whole E. It's big bucks, but it's big risk.
And you need to get your group together. You need to like figure out how they're gonna get fuel. Like there's planning to it. It's part of the gameplay. Yeah. If it was just load up Hull E, push red button, and now you're in some system and you get paid. Yeah. Then might as well go play My Little Pony World at that point.
Absolutely, and that's the same reason that when Tony Z explained it, he said that they weren't going to allow NPCs to go independent missions, right? Because he didn't want to make it sit in your hangar. You send your NPCs out to go run the ship, and then come back. Because then what the fuck's the point? And that's exactly the way Tony Z put it too. So I think that's That's the whole aspect of this game, and I think as long as they stay true to that, it's going to be really fun and engaging because they'll find more stuff for us to do if we're bored. I know they will. That's just how they are. All right, we'll move on to the next one. Also asked by Agent 121370. It says, will more than one ship be able to be spawned per account at one time? Say, for instance, I'm flying a Prospector. My friend wants to fly a Hornet for protection.
Yes.
Absolutely. They've already said that. 100%. Because they want you to be able to loan and rent ships out to other people.
You can even delegate a ship to be spawned by someone else.
Correct. Yeah.
So within your org, you give a guy access to your ship, and they can just take it.
Yep.
So you can make money offline. You can rent your ships out, come back home, rent your ship out, get it back, whatever.
Yeah.
Yep.
It'll be the enterprise of space.
Yep. Although I don't think ship rental is going to be as popular as people think, because everybody owns everything right now. So we'll see.
Well, we were discussing that. Gio, how many ships you got in your org?
About
See? It made his eyes go big, so that must be a lot.
We got at least 6 Idrises, I think, at ours.
We're ridiculous.
And ours is a very small.
Yeah, we're org. Small. We're probably. Yeah. I don't know. We have less people than probably what Noobifier does as full-time members. We have a lot of affiliates, but not full-timers.
What I'm saying is there's no shortage of seats available, put it that way.
We'll be lucky if we could crew one Idris with full-time members. That's what
But just remember, we will be the very small minority when this game gets popular.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
I know, but I'm just saying, like, it's.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just saying, when you can't buy shit no more, it's gonna be real popular to rent ships, probably.
Maybe, depending on the rates. We'll see.
It'll be on Reddit.
Yeah. No, they'll hide the post. That's what they'll do. They'll nerf that post immediately. They'll write down with my hacker post. They'll just hide it off the screen. It's like dee-dee.
You have a hacker post too? I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know it if you go to Reddit because it's not there anymore. Let's see. What do you think of the game if you let it be like a 3D room and you could move around and walk like Star Trek, like a holodeck? I think that'd be fucking amazing, but totally super expensive and unrealistic. But yes, that would be cool.
Right.
I would be into that. Let's see. Guns and Glue then asks, he says, what do you think of an active reload system? Item durability to item efficiency.
Meaning the failure rate would be higher the shittier the part? Like
active reload system, item durability to item efficiency. Yeah, I'm not sure guns what you're exactly telling that.
Gun lifespans, basically. The more you use the gun, the more durability it takes, and at some point the gun is just broke and worthless.
Well,
they had that in Star Wars Galaxies, and that that worked. At some point, you just gun was old, and that was it. Time to get a new.
You got to bring it, or you got to bring it to someone to have it repaired.
I think it's cool in Black Desert. I like the way Black Desert does. Like I can find a lot of in there, and the durability goes down. Repair it, boom, back to.
And one thing that Star Citizen really needs is attrition on something, items or something, right? Because we get everything else back as far as the hulls of ships, our lives. We lose rep, which we still haven't defined what the fuck that means. In as a whole, then I think guns, other things should be very disposable in the game. You can repair them and maintain them if you want, but if you make enough money, you could fucking throw them in the gutter and go buy another. I mean, that's the way it should be. So that way you have some sort of loss or attrition or opportunity for somebody else to scavenge or, those type of things. So I like that. Let's see. Can we land on planets yet? Yes, Nerdy. Right now, you can go land on a planet.
You could.
Yep. You just have to go.
Not the experience.
You have
not the experience you're looking for.
Yeah. Go buy Elite Dangerous, and you can land on planet.
No Man's Sky.
And then hit the paywall.
Yeah.
Hit the paywall.
Yeah. Or No Man's Sky. You can do it all day right now, and then you'll never want to land on the planet again. So Guns and Glues clarifies previously is better parts equals better damage. If you hit the right mouse at the right time, you do better damage. Oh, like a timing thing. I could deal with better parts equals better damage, but I don't know about...
No, I could see bigger guns be doing more damage. A 50 cal doing more damage than a 9 mil.
But once you have like a modifier on it or something, like an attack.
This is the thing is that we're talking about is that becomes you have +2 multiplier, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's no longer skill. That's your gun is, it's starting to get into that level 2 cloak of invisibility bullshit that is in so many other games.
I don't want a timing thing or anything like
that. What's the point of the what do they call it? The Endeavor's wheel, the overclocker or whatever.
Overclock, it makes it more likely to break, but you get a bonus.
So
just like overclocking your computer.
Yeah, but you're saying you don't want the overclocking ability.
No,
right?
No, because it's risk reward. That's different. Just taking a thing. Yeah, just like the guy overheats his ship in a race. He won because he overheated, but he could have blown up, right? Yeah. He could have lost everything, but again, that's the appealing part of the game. It's the scenario where you have a guy that's starting out and he is unable to be competitive with anybody because he doesn't have the time invested in grinding to get his character leveled up.
Yeah.
Right? You level up the gear. Technically, you and I, if I had a year in the game and you had no year in the game, and we had the same gear, you should be able to be, if you're more skillful than me, you should be able to perform the same job regardless. And that's what has to happen in the game.
Yeah.
You can't have the whole, because the guy's been grinding for 5 years, he is automatically getting bonuses in luck or something like that.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah, because even though I've played games like that where I don't have a problem with, I'm the vet, so I have more skills than everybody else, the downside to that is they have a limited lifespan on them. Because what happens with those games is like, eventually what happens in every game, they have to nerf the vets though. They have to allow the new guys to get up, or else you have such a disparity between the elites and the new guys that unless the game company decides to do that, they have to alienate the old school guys so the new guys keep buying the game. And by doing it the way CIG is smarter, because any given Sunday, as long as they have the same type of equipment, can take on somebody if they've been there 5-10 years. It doesn't matter.
Right.
And that's a smart way to do it, and it insulates you from that drama on the backside, like Eve and other games have had now, where they nerf their old people because
the veterans bonus is that the veterans played the game so much that they know exactly what tool they need to get to do what job, and that's just like in real life. You can give 2 people guns and they'll train on them, and one guy will become a really, really good shot because he has aptitude in being able to shoot. Right, the other guy doesn't understand breathing and trigger manipulation. Will never hit anything.
Exactly. When you go to pilot school and get your pilot license, stuff like that, the guy who got more hours, he's a lot of times the better pilot. So that's just how it goes.
But it doesn't inherently mean he will be the better pilot overall, because the young guy could be more skilled, and that's the thing. It doesn't alienate him. Other games where, like Eve, where it was over time, I always supported that. While I'm a veteran, but the minute they nerf me, then it pisses me off, because now the guy, even though I spent 8 years in a game, this guy who bought it last week can take away the one thing that made me better at it. Because Eve is more of a min-max. There's no, I'm clicking on the same shit you are. There's no, I can't click differently. I can't do it different. And whereas CIG is succeeding is they're building skill metrics in there to where I have to perform better than you in order to be better. In Eve, it doesn't matter. There's no skill tree for me to click a mouse and click on a ship. There's nothing different than that. I can't click it faster than you. I can't do anything else. So this is definitely a better path for the longevity of the game to go.
Bank heist.
Doo-doo. All right. So let's see. We go next. It says, in this week's ATV, at the 1024 mark. Oh, you're going to make me click on stuff, huh? It says it's not. Is that not the heavy armor the guy is shooting with the railgun? No, it wasn't heavy armor. It was medium armor. Also, he has 3 grenades on his armor as opposed to 2 frags on the medium and 1 frag on the light.
Item ports.
This is a long question here. If this is heavy armor, do you think we need to be wearing heavy armor to use the railgun? Now, that's an interesting question. But I don't think so. I haven't seen a weapon limitation usage yet on any armor set yet.
I can see if they do the Titan armor thing, how it's a power armor thing. I could see that in the future, but I can't see them saying just because you have a big armor or little armor, you can't take the gun that weighs the same and put it on your shoulder that weighs the same.
And I'll play it right now. We're looking at it's going to be right after this at the 1024 mark. I don't believe it's a heavy armor set.
No, that's medium armor. Heavy armor has your eyes are obstructed.
Yep.
Because it closes, remember?
But he's right. I don't think that is also grenades. Maybe it is grenades. Are those grenades up there under his armpit? Or are those reloads for that weapon he's carrying?
Arm balls.
What are those?
Because that is 1, 2, 3.
Like a stun grenade or something. Or is it cartridges for the gun or something?
That's why I wonder if the gun has cartridges in it of some sort. Like maybe you only get a couple shots.
It's like a plasma.
But you look right here because it does have an ammo counter. It's not just a fire whatever you want. If you look at it, when it comes down here on the lower right-hand corner, you'll see it has 10 rounds. He does have 3 grenades. It shows 3 grenades on his loadout.
Huh.
I don't know. Maybe it's a new type of suit, medium suit. Or maybe it's something you can adjust. Maybe you can give up a weapon and you can get triple grenades with the fucking big-ass rocket launcher. Who knows?
No pistol.
Yeah. But you can tell they're obviously in a dev mode. They're in developer mode here with the disassemble and all this. So, I mean, he could probably load up 20 grenades if he wants to in that mode.
Yeah,
so
and that's what I was saying earlier about the over-the-shoulder gun, is that maybe the timings are just there so you can go pew, pew, pew and just, see the effect of it without actually having the bounce to deal with it, like reloading and that.
Absolutely. So it could go that way.
Maybe in the PU I'll be cool with it, but in Star Marine, you do not need 3 spam grenades.
I got wrecked on bank heist.
Damn, bro.
Well, better step it up. This week seemed to bring back some worries to having the depth to the gameplay beyond the realm of fun. Having to eat, patch bullet holes, light switches. Is there a concern about the granularity overdose, troubling us all the way? Hang on, Thrace. Gosh, you guys asked right off the page. All the way to release. I have concern about it, but I mean, as long as, like I said earlier, if they offer options where I don't have to do that on certain things, like as far as the switches go, I'm okay with the option being there to provide more immersion. The bullet patching doesn't seem like that's optional, though.
No.
So
I'm not worried about it till I see it in the game.
Yeah.
Then I could be worried about it.
I was worried about, like, I used to hate blacking out was one of the most annoying things. I wanted out the game. But once I got to use it and played other games that you black out barely, I understood it because a lot of ships, you guys would just go loop-de-loop with each other, trying to chase each other. With blackout, whatever guy's thrusting it better or turning at the right angle quick enough, they're not going to black out versus the guy who is driving or flying reckless. So, I don't know. Maybe it'll be cool when it gets in game, but right now I'm not liking some like the patch in the suit stuff. That's insane.
Like the grenade indicators, they're awesome now, right? That we've had them for a while.
As long as everyone is equally screwed by the game mechanic, it's fair. That doesn't make it good
or fun.
Or fun, right? We agree on that. But I mean, misery loves company.
Yeah.
If it takes me 4 seconds to get from the prone up, then it's the same for everyone. Then it's a game mechanic and it's fair, not fun.
And that's something they could take out later. I mean, I think the only reason the indicators are in there is they just don't want everybody going in there doing grenade spam fest.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go ahead and
everyone.
Yeah, I get.
Everyone knows where they're going. You know what I mean? Because you know they're going to the terminal. The terminals are always in the same place. So where are the grenades gonna go? So
yeah. And again, we haven't got to apply that on any large scale inside the PU yet. For some of that stuff, we don't get grenade spam in the PU because there's no area where we're FPSing generally. I mean, you get a little bit of Korea action, but whatever. But I'll promise CIG this: if they add the bullet penetration in the suits, I will make the greatest fart video or low, slow, leaky sound effect video ever, highlight reel of all the suit penetration going.
Or
as we deflate.
Post it to Reddit so it can get banned again.
Yeah. So
Mitt getting banned.
Yeah. They don't ban me. They just hide the post so people can't respond. So then
they just made it invisible.
And then I just tweet about it so people still respond. And then they send me a message saying new mechanics coming out soon on top of my post. so that way to reassure, because they don't.
That's what you need to do, and then play that video with the fart sound.
Well, they don't want to piss anybody off that's like CIG related, so they immediately they might not like this. We'll take it down. So I'm still waiting for that update. They said, by the way, too, where they're like, oh no, it's they're having new updates about this, so that's why we took it off the main page and stuff. And I'm like, I haven't seen anything at all.
I ain't did nothing.
Yep. Oh, come here.
It's right there with that Banu ship.
Let's see, what did they say? Oh, yeah, new rules about hacking coming tomorrow. This was put out 4 days ago. I'm still waiting for these new rules about hacking. Because here's the hidden post I can still link. So if you guys want to read that, there you go. Be sure to go comment on it, because they love when more people comment on the hidden post.
Yeah. All right, I'll go read it.
I'm on there and whine like baby. That's what I should do. Like, wah.
All right, so next question. Since the spaceship pages are now only loosely accurate in terms of vague intent but not hard numbers, what is the ship you hope to see veer the farthest from original specs, and in what way? Oh my God, that's a great question, to be honest. And I'll start this out before we ask everybody else to say, I still do not believe, and I'm not calling CIG definite liars, but I do not believe the ship's pages were ever based on loose, accurate items in terms of their intent. Because if they intended to have max crew of an Idris at 10, or anything, I call bullshit. I just call utter bullshit on some of this stuff. I think they had big ideas at the beginning of the website development with the Kickstarter, and I don't believe the intent has been that way in 4 years. And because
they didn't plan that these ships were probably going to get this big.
That's what I'm saying. But when they made the statement, they said, CIG said, oh, those were the direction when we released the ships of what we thought we'd do. But they are right. They're correct. We just need to bring them up to date. I'm like,
I have one.
No, I don't buy it because it's
Retaliator.
So far off. Yeah.
Retaliator needs flash fire mounts. The pilot is a bus driver. It is a frustrating ship.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, you're pretty much wrecking that if you don't got a crew.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And if you could replace some of the turrets with forward firing guns, then you could do more things with it, right? You could have a drop ship with the guns and no dudes in the turrets. I don't know. It
is getting a rework too. So
yeah, and then the Redeemer is another one that I want. I actually want that to deviate way away from what it is, because it doesn't even look like an Aegis ship to me.
No, it needs to. Well, it's getting a rework anyway. But I hope they go with the attack helicopter profile. We talked about the gunship type thing with it.
And the Car2L already doesn't reflect what the original page said it would do.
Yep.
Double seater doesn't do that. I mean, there's so many things that it didn't do.
Any ship concepted before last year, I think, is not accurate on the page at all.
300's fine.
But they're redoing them.
Of course. Gio,
that
was funny.
How about you, Gio? What do you think? Any ships do you think you'd want to see deviate from what they said on the ship description on the main page?
I would want the merchantman, probably, not to be a trader. I would like to be that to be like
It's in its name.
It's a merchantman.
It would have to get a name change too.
Okay, so the Geo.
Only because I also seen it in the water too. So I don't know.
I know you like the look of it. You just want to do it something different with it.
Yeah, I don't know. I would probably want it to be like a fishing boat, to be honest. Like a fishing ship.
That's the 890 jump. The 890 jump is a boat.
Yeah, but the 890 jump's a fishing boat that anybody rich asshole that owns it wouldn't fish off of.
Yeah,
that's true.
You know what I mean?
It's Garcelle, go get me some fish.
Yeah, the guys who own a fucking yacht, they never would go fishing a day in their life. They're stocked ice cooler with the best fish they can buy. So, who's gonna play our hockey ball?
No, I'm looking at it. There really isn't much else. Of course, I mean there's so many ships that haven't even really been fleshed out yet. But I am happy they redid the cutlasses, because those are turning out to be really, really good.
Super awesome. Super, super awesome. Toy, you got one?
No, I totally agree with Noob. Both the ships he picked.
Yeah.
So.
Sorry.
Because my friend has a Retaliator bomber, so.
Yeah, he's going to need to always have 8 people to run that ship. And that's not bad. Like, I like teamwork and everything, but it's also super limiting.
Yeah.
Because you could have 8 people in Vanguards.
I'll take a different tack on the answer for me, though. I don't like all the variants. Like, I know, like, when all they had was the Aurora in the beginning and stuff like that, they made, like, 15 different variants of Aurora and all that stuff. And now that Ben comes out and says, well, the plan is when you get into a starter ship, they hope you don't spend more, if you're a big grinder and stuff, you wouldn't spend more than 8 hours in it. And you're going to move on to your next stuff.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, because this...
No.
Yeah, because you're going to move on to your next ship by then.
I know, but that's not how to sell a game and make people happy.
I understand that, but that's what Ben said.
That's not...
Test is going to collapse.
He said
about
8 hours.
People love their ship. Like, this is my starter ship, and this is, big plans. In 2 years, I'm going to go grind, and I'm going to go do everything. And then, like, why even worry about insurance if you're going to get rid of it?
I'm just not big on the variants. I like having total different looks of ships and stuff like that, and I think they beat the variants to death. And And, at first I thought, well, they're getting away from that. Because I understand, like, okay, with the whole series, you have different sizes for different capacities. With the cutlasses even, you have total different configurations. It's like buying a LTE package on a fucking pickup truck versus a 4-wheel drive package versus whatever. Same main body of the ship, but you got some differences there. But when they started coming out with the variants, like the Wildfire and the shit like that last year, I was just like, Saber Comet. Like now
it wasn't even a good.
That was definitely a cash grab.
Fucking mix. Okay, so my problem was the mix matched guns.
Yeah.
Because you have 2 different speeds of weapon, and then a shotgun, super short range, super long range combination, with a paint job and different missiles for $15 more.
Yeah.
What? Like you're so. Anyways.
With LTI, see what pisses me off about the whole thing is LTI that we're tacking
it's a token. It's a token at that point. You just use it to buy yourself a Saber again.
Yeah, and to even announce that on the heels of them having like the paint job conversation, right? They talked about all the varying paints you'll be able to do, and then they basically released ships that are main variant is the paint job. I'm like, well, so basically it didn't make any sense. And I just hope they go away from that. I'd like to see individual unique ships like the Terrapin. There's not 15 variants of Terrapin. It's a cool looking ship, and with their pipeline so accelerated now, the way they can crank out ships, we don't need 15 versions of every ship. Just give us something cool. Herald, Terrapin. Ships that do a role, they look different, they feel different. It's not a paint job and some guns strapped on each one. That's the direction they should go.
Sorry, CIG. I'm not trying to sound salty, but, it is what it is.
Yeah. It's just my opinion. So.
Didn't make sense.
Yep. All right, next one says, will NPCs die if a ship blows up, or will they try to escape? That's a great question. I don't know if they'll try to escape. I mean, obviously, if they can't get out, they're going to die. That's like,
that'll be immersion breaking. Like, you just sit in one place. I would like to.
It's like, why is all my crew here? Of course, the other bad aspect is there's one escape pod, Gio. Does that mean your NPC crew bails out and you don't get out?
I was just going to say that with the AI update. Any kind of heat you get, one guy just gets out of his seat and runs away. He's like, I'm done.
Yeah, I'm out, bitches. I think it's going to be because they're not slaves, but they also said the crew would never work against the captain. Like your AI crew would never do that. I think you would have to command them to escape, or you'll take the attrition loss of losing your crew. That's what I think it would be. So if you make the choice to say, all hands abandon ship, and they bail out and you don't get to, that's your own damn fault. If you get to escape pod...
you do that from it. You're like, okay, crew, we're leaving. Yeah. And then you leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck that guy. I'm out of here.
Yeah. But you know what? Because there was a question brought up back when with Tony Z on, like, will the AI mutiny against you if you treat them like shit for so long or something like that? Like, they're more of an extension of yourself. They're not really... They'll have their own things and emotes to give you that immersion of having those players or those artificial players there. But they're not going to, like... You're not going to go to sleep at night, log back on, and they like fucking partied down the ship or something, It's like, what happened? They can't operate without you. That's the way it
They
works.
also said that they'd have schedules, like shifts too. So
they
shift
will
ends and nobody's there. What's going to happen?
But
night crew.
The crew's not
Yeah,
there.
but so
if
is
you're
he
not
going to
there.
leave his post? You know what I mean? And what happens if one of the replacement crew isn't there because they didn't get paid or they're died or whatever?
They don't operate without you present, they said. You cannot log off and let your AI crew just run your ship. So if there's not another player there, I would imagine the whole ship has to either be docked or ported, or, it disappears off the map until you come back because there's no way.
It'll fly to the nearest safe zone. That's what they were saying.
I would let them so I could just wreck their ships and take their ship. I would have a good time doing that. They come back like,
what happens if they fly to the nearest safe zone and they get intercepted by pirates?
I got a deal for you, Gio. You and I are going to create a team. We're going to find out where someone lives. You will attack their ship. I will go disconnect their phone cable so that they log off. You steal their ship. We split it.
There we go.
Bro, there you go.
Immersive gameplay, real life meets Star Citizen.
I got even better deal. We'll have Gio go and attack somebody. We'll make sure that Noobifier's org is really close so they get hired as mercenaries to come defend. And then I'll swoop in to try to counter argument that, and then we'll sit there and pretend to fight each other. We won't lose anything, and then we'll have to have them pay the highest bidder to survive.
I like it.
It's perfect.
There you go,
Yes.
bro.
It's all orchestrated.
It's called stat padding.
There it is.
I think that they do that in Battlefield. Yeah.
We'll do it great.
Insurance fraud.
It's
Real thing.
basically is what it is. Oh, let's see. Do you think CIG will have self-control to stop selling ships when they finish in real life dollars? How do you think they're going to determine the cutoff point for selling ships? And with such a fast flow of new ships. Okay, well, they've already stated. Now, this is all the thing where they hold to what they've already said. They've said right at beta or around beta area, they would stop selling ships for cash. That's the original thing they said. That doesn't mean they will. I'm just saying that's what originally they said. And then they said once it comes online for you to buy ships in game, because according to Ben, his argument is, why would you buy ships for cash when you can buy them in game already?
Because people are lazy.
Well, you can still buy the currency though.
Sorry,
buy the ships that way.
Pay to win.
And it's game development. Like the whole thing is there's never enough money.
Yeah.
So they can't stop selling ships, because I'm not going to just start donating money, because I've already become accustomed to having a ship for the donation, right? For the pledge.
Yeah.
So as soon as they just say, okay, well, we still need the money, but you can't have the ship. That doesn't make any sense. And your UEC that you can't make yet because the game hasn't gone live, we're going to use that to buy ships instead. So you got to go buy a gift card for UEC so you could go buy a game. You know what I mean? It's just, no.
That's the plan.
So even if they do that, though, you're still going to have a store. It's going to say this ship is 50 million UEC, or you could pay with cash. So the end result is the same thing as what we have now, right? Until the game goes live.
Except it's regulated because you can only buy so much UEC at a time.
They won't neuter themselves like that. They want people to spend thousands of dollars. They need people to spend thousands of dollars to... What, is it loud? Okay, anyways, I guess the moral of the story is the game needs to be paid for somehow. And it's great, and everyone, yes, it would be lovely for them to say, okay, we're good boys and girls. We're just going to start making ships in the universe, and you can go buy a Cubby Blast. I can't see that being a possibility until the game actually goes like day one, boom. Maybe a month before. I don't know. Right? But it's not.
We'll see. Because the one thing they said was when it goes beta, or when it goes to that level of beta, there wouldn't be any more currency resets and stuff. So I think anything you buy, you would carry over to the main game for the people that would buy the things like that. But I don't know. I mean, the main thing is, and the other part you have to look at is in game. It's not necessarily the same thing, because the one thing that I have a lot of questions about is Chris Roberts wants to do currency limitations on how much you can trade, how much you can do all these other things, which would limit the flow of ships and what you could do with each other. I'm not a big proponent of all these other things, but he has used multiple examples of saying you couldn't go and give your buddy $1 million because he'd pay the gift tax on it. So you'd have to have some way to regulate, like anything above X amount, this is the way it is, and then you pay a tax fee to do that and all those things. But then you dive into contracts, right? For as mercenary groups, we do contracts with people, and contracts inherently mean we're exchanging currency. And then people in EVE use contract systems to exchange money to bypass any of that type of limitation. So there's so many avenues there that are still unanswered. I don't know.
So here's a scenario for you. Let's say Gio buys 6 javelins, right? And he has a hull E, and on day 1 he goes and sells 6 javelins purposely so that he can have enough in-game credit so that he can buy the cargo for the hull E's and then do one ass-kicking mission, and right away, poof, he's in charge of the universe. He's basically broken the universe because, right? So that's one of the ways, or that's one of the concerns, I should say, that they're worrying about limiting currency. Right? You shouldn't be able to start the game as a billionaire just because you had the foresight to buy a bunch of expensive ships in 2013. Okay, that's one of my concerns too, because that would ruin the game. That would just be like,
and that's again the only thing that blockades that is the reputation system, supposedly, because you can't do certain things with certain groups without rep. But that's very vague in a description as a blocker, and I still want to know more about the rep system, because everything in the end, every discussion I've gotten into with anybody always blocks down to, well, the reputation system insulates that. I'm like, well, something we know nothing about can't be the catch-all for everything, because it doesn't make any sense. So we'll see.
What do you mean? What are you going to break?
What are you going to break exactly? Well, if you start the game and you have billions and billions of UEC, it's...
How's that fair for everyone else? That's actually pay to win. Because you're actually going to break the universe. You're going to win at breaking the universe. You're going to effectively troll the universe.
And you're doing it at a rate because since you're first in, you're able to do that at a higher rate because you bought these ships for like a few $100s. And you have billions of UEC, whereas somebody else would have to literally pay millions of real dollars to get billions of UEC. So
I agree that there's no pay to win, but even to a point, right? There's still imbalance. So it's pay to get an experience, right? I want a Carrack. I want to start the game with a Carrack. That doesn't negatively impact on you. I start with a Carrack. I'm not going to win faster, right? Just because I have a Carrack. It's going to let me do something different. But if in that example, Gio comes in with a completionist pack on day 1, when I'm out flying my ship, he just sells all $15,000 worth of those ships for in-game currency, then he can go imbalance an entire section of the universe with that much money.
I think they're not going to let the player market be as open as we want it to be. I think they're going to make it to where it's diminished returns on selling these ships, and you're not going to be able to sell them to each other.
Right, you're going to flood the market. So if everyone does that, the ships are going to be worthless. Right, for example, that's one way to mitigate that. Or you would only be able to sell a certain number of ships per month, for example. That's another way of mitigating it. But I like your idea better. Just make it, knock yourself out, sell all your ships for $5.
And then they're not on the market for other players. They just go into nowhere because they've already talked about it's not necessarily a true ecosystem to where if Toy sells 15 guns, they're on the market for me to buy 15 guns. So he couldn't say, okay, I'm putting them up for $1 right now, and I buy them all for $1. He couldn't do that. It's going to go into limbo, and then the market trade might go down, but I'll be buying generic guns off just Nowhereville. So it's one of those things that we have to just kind of see how they implement it.
But see, on that same note, say we go out and collect 15 guns. 15 of our org members all go and sell them at the exact same time.
Well, you better sell them.
Flood the market. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
You'd have to spread
that and that's part of the dynamic economy.
Right? Should be that way.
So if I had an Orion and I had a Hull C going back and forth, I should be looking at going to different stations. I shouldn't be able to just do this because then I'll flood that market. And again, it adds good gameplay. It adds fair gameplay.
All right.
We lost to Gio.
Gio down.
I think his glass was empty, so.
Oh, that's a good reason.
All right, we'll go on to the next one. The only discrete mention of job roles in the schedule post was about picking up cargo. Do you think that this game mechanic opened doors for others at the same time? Thrace, you get way too complicated for me this late. The only discrete mention of job roles in the schedule post is picking up cargo. Do you think this game mechanic opens doors for others at the same time or shortly after? Do we think mining scanners or role-specific tools are going to...
That's confirmed, 3.0.
Yeah. Are going to take a long while.
Mining is coming in 3.0.
Yeah.
So that's...
Interesting. Yeah, but he's like worried about the scanners and all that stuff. It should all come online, but I don't know. I don't know
because they even said they said mining is going to be rudimentary, and then it's going to expand. Cargo is going to be 5 categories.
Yep.
And then in the future, the 5 categories are going to expand to be more categories. So you gotta walk and then run. It's the same thing. Mining is going to not be fully fleshed out. You're going to have this tiny little ship that's for mining. You're going to land down, prospect, collect, and do all that stuff. Then once the mechanics are in, the Orion will come in with more gameplay, and it's going to be like that for all the different the trades
you're
within
not going to get the
universe.
most advanced scanners and tools until as it's developed down the line. Just
it might turn out to be a crapshoot. You just land and start mining, see what you get.
All right. Do you think ships such as the Endeavor would make a good home base early in the PU until you can actually afford to man and fuel it for missions? I wouldn't fly anything I couldn't fully man.
That's what I'd like to do.
I wouldn't fly anything I couldn't fully man because I just think it's a risk.
I would love to have that thing just parked in a safe zone somewhere. Because I would want to jump on that, like I said, that particle accelerator, whatever they call it. I can't remember the name.
Super collider.
Yeah, the super collider. That's what I'd want to get on right away.
Yeah.
Because I think that's going to be the biggest moneymaker in the game once the game gets established a bit. So
I also think it's going to have a high skill requirement, which is cool.
Yes.
You're going to get paid. And then you can be, just like other games, how that one guy is really good at crafting. You could become that one guy that people seek out. Like, this guy got an extra 10 meters per second out of my M50 over everyone else. And
the best
we need
part
to go
about
find
it
him.
Is you using for you learning that skill and getting better at it, you're using other people's resources. Bring me the resources, we'll do it. We'll try and do it. No promises. Yeah. So
I also think the Caterpillar will turn out to be a nice mobile base idea like that.
Yeah, I think so. Once you add
we'll
the
see what
assets
modules.
in it.
Yeah, what other modules are planning on adding. So
yeah.
I can't wait till they start making these ships, where the command module actually breaks off and reattaches. And that's I bought the Caterpillar just for that purpose alone. So,
and the Endeavor is another one that does that.
Yep.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the ship contrails? Do you think it's a bit too arcadey?
The ship contrails, like the
because so what they've done is now you'll be able to see the lines. They said specifically that now the graphics will be able to handle that, so it won't impact on frames. And so when you're flying, you're going to actually see 2 lines come out the back, like an airplane in the atmosphere.
I was going to say, I don't think it's too arcadey the way they implement it, because airplanes do it now in real life. So.
Right.
I don't know.
So I like it because actually, like you say, it's a little bit. It could be seen as realistic. It adds another dimension to dogfighting. It makes it both easier. It makes it easier for everyone to see you. So the only one I'm worried about with that is stealth. If your Saber has contrails, it defeats the point of it being a stealth fighter. Maybe you'll have to never go into boost, right? If it's only on boost, etc., etc. Gameplay variation is always good.
Yep.
Hornet Ghost, same thing.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, for gameplay aspects, I'm glad it's there because it'll be hard to find some of these ships.
There you go. And the last question is, can I conquer and own a planet?
If you can hold it.
It depends on the planet. If it's occupied, if it's occupied by the UEE or another alien empire, I'm pretty sure they'll come over and kick your ass if you try to take the whole planet over.
Well, see, that's the thing. CIG is never going to go, okay, well, Noobifier and his crew own this planet.
No,
it's
they might
just
have
Death Star.
There you go. Might have a small pirate base or a merc base or some sort of dugout on the planet, but most of the things you have to consider planet-wise are owned by other empires and races or the UEE itself. And I think if you tried to claim it and conquer it, you'd have some AI issues. Probably come over and correct that. So we'll see. With
the scale of these things, I don't care how big your org is, they're not going to have that many players in the universe.
Yeah.
You're not going to be controlling an entire planet. No way.
If you're test and you wanted to control everything coming in and out of planet, you might have a good chance at it. But I think eventually the AI would push a UEE fucking fleet up your ass, and they'd just keep coming in until you broke the lines. It's just part of the game balance things. But it'd be fun to try. If you had enough
squatters'
people.
rights.
There you go.
Right in beta.
Let's just be fair that Chris is not going to let anybody break his baby for lulz and fun. But you can still give it a try, because I'd love to videotape the aftermath of that wreckage and then salvage it.
He has developers console.
Reclaimer.
Yeah.
He has developers console. He will win.
Yeah.
He has the ultimate aimbot.
Yep. Spawn all Bengals here now.
Delete.
What was the one guy who said that in AO that got killed right in front of everybody? That was awesome. Remember that back in the day?
Oh wow. Yeah.
Lord British.
Yeah. No, I've had my run-ins with the developers when they were testing a Starfarer one time and 2.5, and then he just spawned me in the middle of the fucking map with no ship.
When Anarchy Online,
like, move Mitauchi, bloop, and I just went boop.
Yeah.
When Anarchy Online first came out, Lord British, which is the guy who developed it, came out and gave a speech in the game to all the players. There was like, I forget how many players it was, and some hacker came in and killed him right in front of everybody. It was all over magazines. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Never underestimate the power of a hacker. So
this is true.
Goddamn hackers. Tachi loves hackers.
I love them.
Yep.
I love them so much to take pictures of them.
Put them on Reddit.
There you go. All right, guys. Well, that was our last question that we have on this glorious list. So let's go ahead and we're going to draw down this card real quick for all those people that entered. All 42 super elite people.
Nice number.
Yeah, I made sure to seal that for the rest of you guys. Remember to do it. Remember, you do have to be following both the Noobifier on Twitch, because I linked his Twitch. Yeah, we're getting you Twitch people now.
I'm still going to become the only Twitch partner without a single stream.
And Gio, so you have to put exclamation mark guests in chat, and you should be able to link both those guys and go over there and make sure you're on both the things following. Do it now.
I never heard of Titch.
Titch? I like Titch.
Oh,
sounds good.
Go follow him on Titch.
Good website.
Go Titch me.
Go Titch right now. Titch.com. It's a special. It's kind of like, we won't go into. I'll tell you off the air what happens on Titch.
There you go.
Yeah.
We need to copyright that.
It's special. Special place for meetups.
And 18 hours LTI Carrick is done over on my channel.
There you go.
So go Titch me.
Go Titch him. Titch him gently.
On the tubes.
There you go. Titch
Here,
him on the tubes.
Let me do this for you here real quick. I'll actually do a command for you.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow. Careful. Everybody hold on.
If I can remember what it is.
Hold on their fucking hats. Toy Gremlin's going to write a command live on the air.
He's gonna crash
should we put a timer up while he's doing this right now? See how long it takes him to write a command?
There you go. Now you can link to it.
Oh.
All right.
Man, that only took me a minute.
Oh, yes. This is going to happen. So this here's the contest. $350 ship. Your choice. It can be anything. A Carrack. It could be Hull D, Crucible, whatever in that range. Okay. Sorry for capitalizing.
It's all good. It's all good. I'll be over on one of your videos advertising something soon.
Yeah, and you should also enter.
You'll see a market ploy with me in a bikini or something. Be like, come over and shop at Noobifier stuff. And while you're here, guys, come over and hook up my channel. And we'll watch his subscriber ratio just go.
I will ban you.
There you go. Ban it
on YouTube.
There it is.
Get Google involved. There you go. Yeah, that's what I need on my channel.
Yep. High quality. Dong Schneider, in effect, live action. Let's go ahead and we're going to draw the winner here, guys. I'm not going to make you do a claim word or any of that good stuff. So let's find out who the winner is. The 42 entries. Are you ready? Get set. Unison, that winning thief. He hasn't won in a long time, actually. Unison, congratulations. You are the winner. As long as you followed the Noobifier, too. Yeah, let's see. Is he on your Twitch?
There's no way to check that. There's no way to check.
He's so unprepared for this shit. You see, we try to give him Twitch followers and see what happens. Because he said last time, I'm just going to have people follow me on Twitch, and even though I don't ever stream, and there you go. So we're going to go ahead and give it to you.
No titch followers.
Right. No titching.
No titching. No titching.
Let me see.
So, yeah, so titch you can only be a woman on, and you got to have cleavage to play games on there. Boom, boom, $1 million idea.
450 followers on Twitch.
There you go. So you're on fire.
Nice.
No videos, no streams,
no nothing, 0 time. You'll have like 1 million followers. Be like, what a hacker!
Best host ever.
What a hacker! Crazy sauce. All right, guys. Well, with that, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I am gonna be doing an after show. Anybody wants to hang out for the after show, you're more than welcome to. We'll watch a video. Might play some PUBG. We'll see what's up, and we'll go from there. So, guys, again, Noobifier, Geo, Toy, thank you guys for all being here tonight. We really do appreciate it, and we will see you guys next Friday at 10 p.m. where we'll have Texas Skulls. We'll be here next Friday, and I don't know, we might have a Grit Spitter. He wanted to come on. He's like, but I'm not gonna beg. I was like, well, you can come on. He's like, well, no, I don't want to. So whenever he grows some man balls and he actually wants to come on the show, we'll let him on. But we'll see what happens.
Bring Grimlock back so he can actually say something.
We're going to have a special edition episode where Grimlock actually talks during the show. We'll do that.
Who'd have thunk it?
Yeah. So crazy. All right, guys. Have a great night. We'll see everybody next week on the SpaceBro Show.
Tons of fun.
Good night,
Thanks,
guys.
everyone.
Bye-bye, guys.
Creepy.